Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Can I have a motion to open up the town board meeting, May 14th, 2026?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Prior to the public hearing, I'm going to move one of the discussion items up so that our auditor does not have to sit here all night long. We're going to review the 2025 audit by Nugent and Hauser, and Justin Woods is here to speak.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you, board, for having me. I've been the auditor here at the town since 2008. However, I've never had the pleasure of coming here to present the report. Joe invited me to do so tonight, and I thought it would be a great idea. Just a quick introduction to myself and my firm. As Joe said, my name is Justin Wood. I am from Nugent and Hauser accounting firm. We're based in Orange County, right here in Montgomery. Not right here in Montgomery, I should have said in Montgomery, right here in Orange County. We've been in existence for 100 years. I've been there for 24 of them, and I've been a partner for 9. And like I said, I've been coming here since 2008. This year was a little bit different because there was a transition in the budget officer. However, it couldn't have gone better. Jennifer, the current budget officer, did a great job of taking over for Christine and everybody in all the departments. Karina, Mary, Kat, Eunice, the Justice Court, we just finished up that audit. That all went really well. I'm going to spend some time bouncing around the report, just hitting on what I thought are the financial highlights of the town. Please feel free to interrupt me at any point in time with any questions or comments or a further explanation on anything. Also, I'm available for like a one-on-one discussion with anybody. Joe has my contact info if you'd like to discuss as well. So I'm going to bounce around this report, so I'll take my time. I flag my pages. Having said that, though, I am going to just start right on page 1. This is the most important part of the audit. It's where, as auditors, we provide an opinion, and this is the only time I'll read from this report, is, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, each major fund and fiduciary fund of the town of Goshen as of December 31st, 2025. We've given what we refer to as an unmodified opinion. It's otherwise known as a clean opinion. It's the highest level of assurance that we can give on an audit. It's not like an A, B, C, D, E grade. It's an unusual grading system, but the town received the highest level of assurance that we can give. From there, I'm going to dive into some of the numbers that I'm sure you guys are most interested in. So we'll go back to page 1, which is where we have a breakdown of the 2 general funds. That's Fund A and B. And I'll just draw your attention to the bottom third of page 71, which is the statement of changes in fund balances for the year ended December 31st, 2025. And really just quickly want to point out, so you're going to see 3 columns: General Fund A, General Fund B, and then the total general funds. For the A fund, the appropriated amount for 2025 was $0, meaning that the town was not planning on losing any of its fund balance for 2025. The town actually had a surplus of $383,000 for 2025, so that's like excellent performance, excellent job managing the budget for the A fund in 2025. Performance for the B fund was, it did have a deficit of $303,000. However, there was a planned deficit, a budgeted deficit in the 25 budget of $400,000. So it actually performed to the good. Again, a good job of management. Now I'm going to bring everybody's attention to the top half of the page, which is the balance sheet for the two general funds. You'll see top of the page is assets, list such items as cash and accounts receivable. Middle of the page is liabilities, list such items as accounts payable. And then the fund balance section is, the best performance measure for the town. Now, just to put it in relative terms, the New York State Comptroller will give fiscal stress scores to all the municipalities in New York State. They start giving a fiscal stress score once the total fund balance falls below 20% of the following year budget. So I'm gonna give you percentages of fund balance to the following year budget, and just keep in mind that 20% is kind of that line where the state comptroller would start to assess fiscal stress for the town. So the general fund total fund balance compared to the 26 budget is 32% for total fund balance. For available fund balance is 30%. So the general fund A is in healthy shape. The general fund B is actually 78%, so even healthier. And then, I'm sorry, that's available fund balance. Total fund balance is actually 82%. So general fund B is even healthier, right? So that's kind of my spiel on the general funds alone. I'm gonna back up a little bit to page 23 to discuss the other funds. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly go over the surplus and deficits in the other funds. Now, the highway funds DA and DB are combined in this report. It's just the way they have us present it. So it makes it so I'm gonna give you the amounts for the split out of DA and DB. So general we already went over, I'm not gonna go over that again. This is just a combination of those amounts we went over, A plus B. In the highway, you're gonna see that bottom third of page 23, very bottom of it, you're gonna see net changes in fund balance. You're gonna see that the highway did go down by 90,000, but there was $400,000 appropriated for the DA highway. So it only went down 88,000. So again, actually performed to the good, and DB had a small deficit of only $3,000. You will see the third column in is the water fund. There was a surplus in the water fund. I know that everybody, the town supervisor and the board is aware that there is ultimately a fund balance deficit in the water fund that needs to be dealt with because of some unseen repairs. And I'll get into kind of that in a little bit. The sewer fund had a large surplus of $359,000, bringing total fund balance to $933,000. I'll give you your percentage here in a bit. The capital projects fund, you are going to see a deficit there, and that's not unusual. Capital project fund isn't measured how the other funds are measured on a 12-month calendar year cycle. A capital project could be something that takes one day. It could be the purchase of a highway truck, or it could be a large infrastructure project that takes 3 years. So we're really only looking at it like at a snapshot in time. So it is in a deficit position. However, there is a ban related to it, a bond anticipation note. So there is funding available to offset that deficit. Drainage fund is brand new, a small surplus at the end of the year of $1,265, and the community rec fund had a deficit of $38,000, bringing the fund balance to $76,000. I'm just going to back up now 2 pages to page 21. Now this is similar to the top half of page 71 where we talked about the balance sheet, but this is for all funds. So we already discussed the general fund. So the highway fund, you're not going to see this on your page. You're going to see a total of $3.499 million for total fund balance for DA plus DB. But I'm going to give you the breakdown. For total fund balance, the DA is $2.1 million. That's 186% of the following year's budget. The DB fund balance is 1,366. That's 47% of the following year budget. And then available fund balance, DA is 159% and DB is 38%. So I do just want to draw everybody's attention that there is a correlation between the taxpayers that are in A and DA and B and DB, right? So the ones that are in A are also your DA taxpayers, and the ones that are in B are also your DB taxpayers. So if you look at those percentages, like DA, very large, high fund balance, A, healthy fund balance, not quite as high as the DA, the B is actually the opposite, where the B fund itself has a very high percentage fund balance, and the DB percentage still healthy, not even close to the 20%, but not as high as the B. So it's just something to keep in mind, that those tax bases are the same. And then in water, there is a deficit, that over time, and I've discussed planning with Jennifer, the budget officer, as well as Joe, as far as how to eliminate this deficit over time. It's not an overnight thing. Unfortunately, these infrastructure funds, you run into very large repairs, they're very expensive, which kind of segues me perfectly into the sewer fund. and how there is $933,000 of fund balance, which does represent 243% of the following year budget. However, one large, knock on wood, this doesn't happen, one large repair to a sewer plant can wipe that fund balance out pretty quickly. So although that percentage sounds very high, dollar amount wise, it's actually not that high. And in an infrastructure fund, again, I'm gonna knock on wood, unfortunately, they're most subsequent to a natural disaster, and those repairs can be very costly. Drainage fund, very small amount, and then a community rec center, healthy. So that kind of takes me through the funds. Now, we are required then, if we go to page 19, by the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, to then take all of those funds, combine them, because they're measured on what's called the modified accrual basis, which is measured on the 12-month, it's like a 12-month lookout, because that's what the budget year is, it's a 12-month lookout. We're required to take all those funds, combine them, and then add in long-term assets and liabilities. So you'll see on the top third of the page, like the capital assets of about $18 million combined. I do just want to draw your attention to the liability section where you'll see an item, other post-employment benefits payable at $17.5 million. That is a required actuarial calculation required by the GASB to report on your financial statements of the present value of your retiree health insurance payments for the next 30 years. Now, I bring that up, one, because it's a very big number and it has an impact on your total net position, and I get a lot of questions on it. The other is because I get a lot of questions about, can we fund it? You actually cannot. The only funding that you can do are for the next 12 months in your health insurance payments. So you can't, like, I'm gonna put money in a reserve for that large liability. Unfortunately, the town can't do that. They can only fund the next 12 months of retiree health insurance as part of their health insurance budgeting in the following budget. So that's really all the financial stuff I wanted to go over. As far as findings, there were no internal control findings to report. In the management letter, we are required to report the deficit in the water fund, and that was it for the findings. It really speaks to what a great job that Jennifer took in the transition and just took the ball and ran with it. We communicate throughout the year. I do with Joe as well during the budget process. Any questions that might come up, I certainly prefer to hear from them throughout the year versus waiting until it's audit time and then ask them the questions then. Me and Jen talk at least weekly, and it's been great. The transition there has been fantastic, so it's been a pleasure. So thank you all, and any questions, I'm happy to take them.
No, I have no questions. Very good.
Yeah, are you saying that the the 17 million is just health insurance?
That is the present value of the next 30 years of health insurance for retirees. It's an actuarial calculation.
So that's nothing, I was thinking that higher figure had something to do with the pensions as well, but it doesn't.
No, it's not.
Just health insurance.
Just health insurance.
Right. There's an abbreviation in your letter of April 28th, which says changing the towns, it's OPEB. What is that?
That's
stand?
that exact other post-employment benefits payable. That's exactly that I was just talking about, interestingly enough, yeah.
Other post,
Employment benefits.
17 million.
yeah. I didn't understand what it was. And then in that same paragraph, it says, we did not audit the RSI.
Required supplemental information. If you look at your table of contents on the financial statements, you'll see what those are. We identify them in that paragraph, but if you look at the table of contents on your financial statement, you'll see required supplemental information. That language is just blanket language that we don't provide an audit opinion on the required supplemental information, but it's all reliable. However, that information is reliable, in our opinion, reliable.
Okay, thank you.
Melissa?
Just had a quick question. So, number one, we appreciate you doing this review for the
Absolutely.
town. I understand that there are other municipalities that you probably work with.
I do.
So vis-a-vis how our town is doing compared to other municipalities, what would your opinion be?
Favorable, and really I use the comptroller's measurements versus going municipality to municipalities. Every municipality is different. This municipality, for instance, has the host fees that other
Right.
municipalities don't have.
Right.
I can comment that the debt is not you know, the debt is modest in comparison to others.
Okay, I was
that's-
just curious.
Right, and the fund balance percentages are comparable. Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Justin, appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
thank you. Have a great night. Have a great night. Nice spring.
Very good.
All right, next item on the agenda is our public hearing. Could I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll turn it over to you, Phil.
Okay. So this has been quite a process. And I had a fantastic committee. I really did, very learned, tremendous expertise. What I would like to do first is read each name of our, each committee member into the record for their acknowledgement on the comprehensive plan. Although it's in the text, I would really like to read it, and then a short appreciation note to them. So the first one would be Doug Bloomfield, and he is our former supervisor. And then we had Lee Burgess, who was our planning board chairman. We had Mark Buckheit, who was a local businessman. We had Thomas Burnham, who was the ZBA chairman. We had Philip Dropkin, who was the deputy planning commissioner. We had Priscilla Gersbach, who at once was our town our town clerk for many years, and deputy town clerk, and is very familiar with zoning and so on and so forth. And Wendy Morell, who was another business owner. And then we had Sean Hoffman, who was our engineer, an absolutely intricate part of this, and Christian O'Donnell, who was our planner, who really wrapped this thing up wonderfully after this more than a year and a half. And then we had Kelly Norton, who was with us most of the way for legal expertise. So that being said, this particular comprehensive plan, we had maybe 40 meetings. It's almost 2 years, but the committee was about a year and a half. And really, on those meetings, they were just the tip of the iceberg, because we would meet, and then the members would go home, have to research, have to make recommendations, and see what it was. So the amount of hours that were put into this plan were just unsurmountable. I didn't think it would take this long, but if you read the comprehensive plan, there is so much statistical data and so much data in there. And I make a comment, many of the meetings, it was like herding cats, because everyone had a different opinion, and everybody, and you know, sometimes tempers did flare, and it's no. It was a wonderful experience, and I had a wonderful committee. And I want to thank the town board, because as we went through this process, everyone would make recommendations, discussions, and so on. And ultimately, this came to the town board, and they had to look it over and make their recommendations. So it was quite a process. So I just want to say just briefly that after almost 2 years of hard work and thoughtful discussion and genuine collaboration, I really want to thank the members for the role they played in shaping the comprehensive master plan. The committee took a big task, and they did it with patience, creativity, and real commitment to our community. Their insights, time, and willingness to wrestle with tough questions have made this plan stronger and more meaningful. I am grateful for everything they've contributed and for the spirit and teamwork they brought to this process. So I thank them all for helping build a foundation that will serve our community well for the future. So Thank you so much. Now, as we go through the process, I'm going to lean on our engineer and our planner for any technical questions, or the three of us will work on answering any questions you may have.
Thank you, Phil, appreciate it, appreciate all the hard work of the committee. George?
Well, are we gonna get the public?
We will,
Yeah.
we'll go through the board and then get the public.
Okay. Well, the first thing I had was, this is, not criticisms.
George.
It's actually,
George.
Not criticism.
it's actually positive. Positive.
Just kidding.
I should have rephrased that. My comment is positive and left out the criticism. Anyway, page 13 through 16 of the traffic study. I was greatly impressed by the fact that we have intersections that are rated now as Fs. In 2030, with no mitigation, they're still rated Fs. And in 2050, they're still rated Fs. But with mitigation, they can be moved up to, Cs. One was AB. So for people that are not familiar with that type of thing, the lowest an intersection can be rated is an F. And I'll give you a good example of an F. Houston and 17A. That's an F intersection, as anybody who drives in that particular area kind of knows that. But with mitigation, possibly a signal light, turning lanes, and so on and so forth, that can go to a AB. Another intersection on 17A that is quite bad is 17A and Pulaski. If you have to try to make a left-hand turn there during the day, that's a challenge. That is an F now, but can go up to a B. The local, and I'm glad that Brad is here too, because page 4, I guess, of the traffic study, it says the local jurisdiction roads. I don't think that list is complete. I think that list needs a number of other local roads. Specifically, there are others, but I believe these are all local roads. Arcadia Road, Fort Hill, Conklin Town Road, and Cross Road. They're all streets.
Crossroads is county road, but
It's county road.
the other ones are all town roads.
Right, but there are a number of others, as I was looking at the report that you're gonna have to give to us later, that's not on that list, so there's a number of
Right.
things that have to
No,
be
it's,
added to that local amount. I guess the other, only in closing, without going into the details, there's a number of high priorities, as people have looked through that, and a lot of that is leaning on the planning board and the town board. So assuming this is approved and we move on, the town board and the planning board has quite a bit of work to do. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Rick?
No, I just wanted to say it was great work. A lot of time was put into that, and I do appreciate all that. I don't really have any questions for you, but it was a great job, really.
Thank you.
A lot of reading.
Melissa?
Same, I read through the entire comprehensive plan and gave lots of feedback and had questions, and I appreciate you addressing them. I think the revised version was great. I want to thank you, Phil, for doing so much work on this. This is really a labor of love, and shows your dedication to the town, and also want to thank the committee for all their hard work. It was really a lot, so thank you.
Thank you. We did get a response from our county, and they had a number of recommendations, and 1 or 2 corrections, so we did the corrections, and we took all their, we met and took every single, anytime someone had a recommendation or whatever, we met and we made sure we took that individual recommendation, discussed it, and came out to some sort of conclusion, whether it's we agreed with it or disagreed with it. So the county, we did get the response from the county, so that's a done deal.
Great, thank you.
So here you go.
Open up to the public. Anybody like to speak on behalf of the comprehensive plan? Please come to the mic, state your name.
You're gonna go first?
I don't come here enough to know. Everybody knows. I'm sorry,
He's handing you
Sam.
up, and then they went to board
Yeah,
discussion.
I opened up the public hearing, yeah.
Chris, side of my phone.
Did you need to, Sean or Kristen, did you want to make any comments before we get into?
I was gonna ask them, once everybody spoke, to then give a
Oh, okay.
recap on everything.
Okay.
So you'll go later.
Chris, you're important, we wanna get to you first.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Is that on?
No.
I don't think you really need it, Chris, just for Jeff.
I figured it out, it just took a little time, thank you, Ken. Good evening, my name's Chris Healy, and I'm a resident of the town of Goshen. 116 pages, this book, and I gotta tell you, it starts off a little slow. There's no car chase in there, there's no murder mystery, it's a little bit dry. But then, page 24 really catches my attention, and you knew it would, yeah, Reno. This is section 3.2.3 on zoning, and specifically, a little bit about warehouses. Now, in reading this, I felt that this board is understanding that the times have changed, and what worked in the past for agriculture, for horse-born arenas, etc. Master plan. Pushing back 500 feet from residential houses is wonderful. Limiting the maximum footprint to 80,000 square foot is fantastic, and I want to make everybody understand, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get a larger warehouse in the town of Goshen.
Right.
What it means is that the town is taking control of who gets to build here. That is to say that if an applicant wants something larger than 80,000 square feet, they have to go through planning and then apply for a variance from the ZBA. And in doing so, I believe it gives our town more control over what we are building here, traffic, air pollution, noise pollution. Fantastic job. There is, on the west side of town, I was thrilled to see there was some talk about adding some parks. The kids need them. I was very immersed in the water study. It is our most precious resource, and it is scarce. So the fact that we're looking out for that as well. Mr. Supervisor, in the past, you have allowed written comment on something like this after a public hearing. Will you be doing that as well?
Look to close the public hearing, give 15 days for public.
That said, I will make the remainder of my comments in written form, as I do not want to put the audience to sleep, but I thank you very much. A fantastic job, Mr. Cantorino. You have said time and again that you appreciated the efforts of your team. I thank you for naming them this evening, and I want to thank all of them heartfelt, working for the town. Didn't do it for the fame or the glory,
No.
did it because they love our town. So thank you very much. I'll put my comments in writing. Thank you.
Sir.
And by the way, these were all volunteers, strictly volunteers.
Sam Bergson, Goshen resident. I would reiterate what the board stated and what Mr. Healy stated. I know from personally talking to members of the committee that they greatly appreciated your leadership, and I think the end product is fantastic. So thank you, Phil. Thank you to the board members for granting the committee the opportunity to do this, and for me the opportunity to speak. I, just as an attorney, one comment that if the board adopts the comprehensive plan, it's really guidance as it's stated in the plan, but if there's anything that's directly in contradiction to the plan, it does need to be addressed by the town, and I think, George, your comment stated that that would be a process that would have to happen. I think that the water studies were, they were informational. I do think that there might have been more that could have been said about all the water issues that are going on in the town, because there are a lot, and I think that water study did hit on a few of those things, but could have been potentially expanded on. I do think that the traffic grades at some of the intersections are troubling. I'm optimistic that mitigation in the future could address some of those safety issues, but my response when I see the danger at some of these intersections on 17A and on 17M is that it's a product of a lot of the development that's been going on in those areas. I would not say that I don't envy your position, Supervisor Betro. That would be a lie, but I do understand that the balance of going after ratables and balancing that against growing development is something that every town has to deal with. I think, looking at 17M, I think there's differences from like Neelytown Road in Montgomery, where I think just warehouses are perfectly situated. And so I reiterate Chris's comments that those suggestions that were specific on warehouses are, I think, well received. Not to continue too much, I'm very supportive of the idea of conservation easements, public development rights, and possible land preservation. I think we've seen even recently, like industrial developments are starting to creep in on residential areas. And I think any tool, we're not Warwick, but any tool that we have to potentially cut off that type of thing is significant. I guess lastly, I would have liked to see maybe some more commentary on solar, but there were comments, the 500-foot setback is great. My last comment, I think that the town code is complicated. The zoning code is very complicated. I know that firsthand being on the zoning board, but I think you acknowledge that, and there are ways that we can simplify it. I think there are too many overlay districts and there's a lot in the code that can be simplified. So again, thank you to the board, thank you to you, Phil, and thank you to the committee.
Thank you.
A lot of those roads are state roads, and no matter how much we squawk or what we do, we have no jurisdiction. We can ask, and we have on many, many of the roads, but we just, there's nothing that we can do. And a lot is needed, and even on the side roads, maybe we can put turning lanes and things like that, or recommend. So, I mean, there are a lot of dangerous areas that we're aware of, but our hands are tied because they're state and county roads, but we keep trying. Sorry,
Thank you.
Just wanted
No, thank you, Phil.
Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy Zweig, I'm on Abbey Road in Goshen. Again, not to bore everybody, but this was amazing. Thank you for putting this together. It was disciplined, it was detailed. I know most of the people on the committee, I know how important it was to them, so thanks for doing this. I just have a couple of maybe suggestions, and I think they're entirely selfish. The first is, there was great discussion about increasing parkland and open space in the western part of the town. I think the same could be said for the southern part of the town. I don't know that there's a meaningful difference between the two. And I thought it was thoughtful in the document that you want to have this close to new residential areas. That's smart. I think that there's also an argument to be made, and I've mentioned this before, where they should, there is increased commercial and industrial development going on in town. And the people who are most impacted by that are the people on the southern and western part of the town. And to the extent that we could provide a little bit of equity to them because of increased traffic and trucks and noise, I think that that's another good reason to put increased parkland and open space in those areas. So basically reiterating what you said, but maybe expanding on it a little bit. And I do want to talk about 17A. I'm sorry, Doug's not here, I don't think, because nobody knows it better than he does. 17A in Houston. So I was gratified to see use the speed limit between Gibson and Quarry, because that's where the accidents are happening. The Houston and 17A is the second most dangerous intersection in the whole town. Most dangerous is 6.5 Station and 17M, but there's a signal there, there's a bunch of turning lanes, Houston has nothing. So maybe there's value in matching the speed limit from the town line to Gibson, and then moving that 45 speed limit all the way down to Quarry. If we're able to ask the state to do that, I don't know how hard that is. That may be impossible too, but it feels.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna count on turning lanes and traffic lights, we're gonna, that'll be, the legacy we all leave to, the next generations.
They've been very, very accommodating to us on our plan to raise money along 17M and Cannon Hill Drive. They've given letters of support to Senator Gildebrand on our behalf. So they're very open. The funding is just not available at the state level. I mean, I speak to Senator Skoufis, you guys can speak. He'd love to do every one of these, but unfortunately, the funding for this district is not there at the DOT.
Yeah.
So a lot more municipalities, I think, have to engage in trying to utilize their efforts in getting funding grants even though the roads are not town roads, they exist in our town. It's our families that are driving those things. It's our families are the potential accident victims there. So I think that's what we have to do. It's what we're doing. You know, like I said, we've engaged Senator Gildebrand and Senator Schumer. We're hoping to get the $1.8 million to take care of Canyon Hill, Hartley, and Musket.
I'd send it to you now, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I hear how complicated it is. And like I said, I don't know how complicated it is to ask the state to change the speed limit, but.
It's not, Rod, how difficult is it?
It's not complicated to ask them.
Virtually impossible.
I can weigh in on
The
that.
state does not want to slow down any roads. They made Pulaski Highway for a few years. They made it 35 from 45, and then they took it back and made it 45 again.
They had such a cockamamie way of estimating the proper speed limit. We tried to get the speed limit reduced on Craigville Road.
Craigville by the parks.
By the park. I mean, that's just a natural. They came in and did a study and said, well, and the way I remember it was, well, the average speed that people go is this. So we took the average speed that the people are driving, and it really exceeds the speed limit that you already have, so we can't do anything about it. It was like, wait a minute, you're supposed to look at reducing the speed.
Yeah.
That's not the way they do it. It just didn't make any sense whatsoever. Do you remember? We
I
were just
do.
mortified. So we'll ask, and they'll do the, hopefully they won't do the same thing, but it was crazy.
And I could be wrong, like, my solution could be a bad one, so I don't mean to
No,
presuppose
it's-
that, but,
it's-
It all comes down to political pressure. That's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes
So
to.
you
Well-
write the letters, you write the letters to your senator, to your assemblyman, and if every resident does that, the more they get, the more serious it is. Getting it from us is great, but every town supervisor complains to them.
yeah,
They don't hear a lot from the residents, and that's what you need to hear from them.
okay. All right, I know my local sort of residents can get agitated if we want to. The last thing I just wanted to mention was the economic development part of it. I noticed there was a focus on tourism and high tech. I don't know if that's gonna be codified. I don't know what the intent is with that. I think a more robust discussion could be had about that, particularly, okay. Then I don't need to say much more, but thank you. I appreciate it. This was great.
Thank you.
Jonathan?
Hi, everybody. Jonathan Rediker, Town of Goshen, County Legislator as well. I had prepared statements so I don't go too long or too all over the place. So please excuse that, but I want to be on to the point tonight. But thank you again to everybody who contributed to the comprehensive plan and to the residents who continue to stay engaged, helping to shape Goshen's future. As a county legislator and someone who deeply cares about this community, I appreciate this plan that it both recognizes Goshen's strengths and its challenges. It acknowledges the very real burden Goshen carries as the county seat, hosting major county facilities and tax-exempt properties that serve the entire region, while placing additional pressure on local taxpayers and services. I shared some research and proposals to help address some of this undue burden with Supervisor Betro and Attorney Brady just a few weeks ago. I look forward to continued collaboration. I also appreciate the plan's strong emphasis on protecting our water resources, open space, farmland, and historical character. Clean water and responsible environmental stewardship are not optional. They're essential to protecting public health, maintaining quality of life, and ensuring Goshen remains the kind of place families want to call home for generations to come. As development pressures continue, safeguarding groundwater recharge, stormwater management, long-term water quality must remain central to every major decision we make. I'm glad to see that was listed in there. At the same time, I believe we have to confront the growing housing challenges facing working people in our community. Teachers, first responders, healthcare workers, municipal employees, tradespeople, and young families are increasingly being priced out of the very communities they serve. Thoughtful workforce housing tied to infrastructure capacity and smart planning is critical not only for affordability, but for the long-term health of our schools, emergency services, local economy, and community fabric. I'm encouraged to share that in our May legislative meeting just a few weeks ago, we unanimously approved a county-wide housing study to move forward, which will certainly benefit Goshen and all municipalities. I support responsible economic development and a stronger tax base, but growth must be balanced with traffic safety, infrastructure capacity, environmental protection, and preserving the character that makes Goshen special. I am pleased that this master plan document addresses all of those needs, even though this balancing act will create new challenges for governing and planning. As your county legislator, I want the town board and residents to know that my office stands ready to work collaboratively with the town council, planning officials, and community stakeholders to help identify resources, funding opportunities, and regional partnerships that support clean water, smart growth, workforce housing, and long-term sustainability. We all want Goshen to remain a strong, vibrant, and welcoming community, not just for today, but for the next generation as well. So thank you for this good work. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Would anybody else like to speak? Yep.
Thank you, Neil Halligan.
Neil?
Obviously, my first comment is for everybody else, I think it was a great job. In all honesty, the ERB last night started on this, and it was unanimous that everybody appreciated the work that went into it and the effort that was there. There were a number of really great items in there that Chris hit on a couple of his favorites, but there's a lot more in there that I think are really tremendously forward-thinking, and I really hope it goes through. As I counted it, there were at least 19 or 20 what you said were code changes that you're looking at.
Right.
I think there may be more of that in there than that. But I think it's really been good. I think there's just a couple of comments really fast. I think there's, at one point on page 2, you talk in there, and I think it's just something that was in there from before and never taken out. It says that you're gonna do the comprehensive plan and the zoning changes at the same time. I think that's not what you intended to do, and I think it's not what you're proposing at this point. Okay, unless I'm mistaken, then I'd love to see the other 19 changes. But, okay, and then on page 22 of the traffic study, it says that they're going to present comprehensive or concept plans in Appendix H, and I couldn't find Appendix H, and I think there was 4 or 5 concept plans or in that rough area that they were proposing, or said they were, and I just didn't see it.
I think that's in the traffic study, Appendix H of the traffic study.
I didn't.
What?
I didn't see it.
There's several missing.
If you can tell me, I'd love to see it. But anyhow, I just think it would be helpful to see that. Okay, in the water study, I think there was some missing background material that would be they said that the average rainfall has increased by a large amount of inches. I don't know where they pulled that out of, and it may be true, I don't know. But for the average rainfall to increase by that much since 2003, seemed like there had to be some huge years of rainfall that it may have been.
Kristen may be able to tell us where that data came from.
The rainfall data from the Delaware.
Yeah, that one. I just don't know where they pull that number out.
That's Sean's department.
Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head where they got the rainfall information. I would have presumed from Middletown. That's where typically the town has historically used it, but I will double check with Delaware. Both those reports, the traffic study and the water study, are both draft at this stage, so it corresponds with the plan. So there's other information, other references you want, clarifications, that it was intended to be that way.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you. And then there was some suggestions on page 7 where they said they have some suggestions. I think there was 4 different ideas. It would be great to see those fleshed out. I know that they, in the past, we had had some conversation with them about increasing recharge or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes sense. I don't think that most of us in the room, or even people presenting anything for development, have any concept of what to propose to increase recharge in the area or whatever. And it would be great to have a list of 5 these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the heck it is. But I think Delaware obviously must have some idea what they wanted, and it just is not in the report. And then jumping back to traffic, it'd be great on the where they talk about the mitigation. It'd be great to have some concept about what the cost of mitigation might be. we keep having people donate to these intersection improvements based on something, and it would be great to have some idea what can be done, and possibly what can be done in the short term. If we keep putting money aside to do the improvement when we get the big $500,000, whatever it is, into there, we're gonna suffer along the way until then. It is possible, we could possibly it may be possible to incrementally make improvements, and so we move along. And then, talking about the mitigation, it would also be interesting to know what the threshold is to actually take the action. You know, what the threshold, it's a traffic study question,
Right.
where they talk about, all right, we should signalize this intersection. And so the question is, at what threshold is that really kind of critical? We can't wait any longer.
How do they?
Yeah, I can answer that. Like, I did not prepare the traffic study.
No.
And there's two parts to that. So the threshold is really net. George mentioned before about some of these intersections operating at low levels of service.
Yep.
I think, you know, you would prioritize them based on those lower level and also accident data on different intersections. In terms of the cost, I think that might have been an oversight. If you recall, they provided a presentation to the supervisor you were here, and they went through all the cost data.
Yeah, we went through all.
But for whatever reason, it didn't make it into their report. So they have that information, they just didn't put it in as an appendix. So that's one of the items that the committee had asked.
Of course, this is a draft, but we did get all the figures on all the intersections.
Yeah.
But it's not in the draft, but it will be.
It'd be great to see it, thank you.
Yeah, we have those.
And the last thing is just a surprise to me. I was really surprised that the worst intersection in the town was a signalized intersection at 6.5 Station and 17M. That was almost twice as bad as almost any other intersection, I think. Which really surprised me that it was that bad. The other one that doesn't surprise me so much, but it was great to see it pointed out, is that the best intersection in town is the roundabout at Legoland.
Yeah.
There were actually 0 accidents there, which is really significant. When all the intersections they have, nobody else had a 0. But thank you very much for the work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neil. Bill?
Bill Troy, Town of Goshen. A procedural question. This is my first comprehensive plan, so I'm not exactly sure of the background, but obviously we're talking about Town of Goshen. That's what we're here for. What I was wondering was, is there any coordination with the Village of Goshen? The village exists within the boundaries of the town. There's liable to be some overlap. Did you interact with anybody from the village? Are there plans to interface with people from the village?
Very closely with the village planner.
Right. Yeah, it's right from the village.
Sorry.
We can't get much closer than that, Joe. But we did have so much discussion during our exchanges, during our meetings, about how we would interact with the village and how we view the village as far as development goes. And there was a tremendous amount of discussion, but once again, we had the village planner as our as part of our committee. So, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that
Yes.
we weren't drawing a fence around the village and
No, not
doing
at
our
all.
own thing.
No, not at all.
I mean, we can't look at comprehensive plan and zoning and have it apply to the village because they have their own zones.
Yes,
Right.
understood. But there should, give and take. I mean, there's roads that transgress. or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's something that, I don't know, maybe we should look at. I'm not really
Whatever.
sure whether,
Well,
I think that would be difficult.
I had discussions with Molly a year and a half ago.
I realize that.
But I think,
Bill?
Mr. Supervisor, when the comprehensive plan committee was discussing different recommendations,
Right.
they considered the village and the potential impact on the village, right? So they didn't want to suggest any zone changes that could be harmful to the downtown business area.
Right.
So it was a consideration of the board, although there was no direct back and forth with the village, and like you said.
Well, I had discussions with Molly a year and a half ago when we first started this thing, and assured her how we would view the village and so on and so forth, and that's what we did, we carried forward. So yeah, the village is an intricate part of it. I live in the village. However,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Would anybody else like to speak? Sean, want to give us a recap, you and Kristen?
Yeah, I'll start and then Kristen can jump in. So again, this was listed this evening for a public hearing. In addition to posting the comprehensive plan online, our office, and by that I mean Kristen, prepared the EAF form for seeker. So if the board's inclined, you can declare yourself lead agency tonight. There's no other involved agency, so you're the only agency.
Okay.
You can also classify it as a type 1 action. Mr. Supervisor, you said you wanted to give 15 days written comment, so to close the
I'd
public
like
hearing
to, yeah.
tonight. That brings you to, I think, the 29th, if my math is right. So I would say end of business on Friday, the 29th. And then the next step would be for you to have it on your June 11th meeting. At that time, you continue with your seeker review. And that would work nicely because then you would have all those written comments as well.
Perfect.
Kristen, anything from you?
I don't really have much to add, except it was such a love fest. I don't have to clarify or correct anything. I think everyone's comments were brilliant because everyone had so many positive things to say, and I mean that, only half joking. I sit through a lot of these public hearings. I sit through a lot of comprehensive planning. I'm happy to see so many people that read it, that really went through it carefully, and that had positive things to say. I think that's great.
All right, great. Again, thank everybody for all their hard work. Phil, tremendous job. I can't wait for your next project.
I appreciate it.
It's gonna be hard to follow, Phil.
No.
All right, so can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? I need a roll call on that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so I got a,
Motion to assume lead agency.
yep, a motion to declare lead agency.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Type 2 action?
No,
Type 1. Motion to declare the type 1 action.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Need roll call on any of this stuff? No, we're good?
No.
No, we're good.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
So any comments that the public has, you want them sent through the clerk's office?
To the town clerk's office, yes.
Okay, very good.
15 days.
Okay. We'll coordinate with the clerk's office, and then this will be on your June 11th meeting to continue the seeker.
Very good. Again, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Next item on the agenda is our plan with NYSERDA to stretch to zero discussion. Elizabeth here to take us through everything.
So I'm not going to take you through much. I'll leave that to Sam. But my name is Liz Staubach. I'm a program manager with NYSERDA on the Codes, Products, and Standards team. Just wanted to take a minute just to kind of set the table, refresh everyone's memory of what's been going on here. So in 2023, Goshen applied to be part of the Stretch to Zero pilot program with NYSERDA. That application was basically a belief from the town board and from the supervisor that you were interested in going farther with your energy code than the base code. As everyone knows, there's been some twists and turns with the energy code over the past several years, but we've had the pleasure of working with the town supervisor, working with town staff to provide training, do some hands-on discussion with stakeholders within the town, really provide some education on upcoming changes to the energy code. What's outstanding now is trying to finalize an option for a couple milestones as part of this grant program. So today, we are here to discuss, well, I should back up, sorry. So as part of the program, there were 2 other municipalities that were participating with Goshen. As they entered the program, one town adopted a green code, which would be an option for the town of Goshen. Another municipality adopted the 2 optional appendices that are made available from the IECC that are available from New York State for adoption by local municipalities. So here we just want to provide information today on the RC and the CC, the residential appendices and the commercial appendices. This again is a discussion item for you in the town. We really just want to understand, we'll provide the information on the 2 appendices, answer any questions you may have, and as I said to Mr. Lyons, I'll do my best to answer the questions. Sam will do his best to answer the questions, but we're probably taking a lot of notes and we can provide information back to you. But this will really just be a first step in understanding the appendices. We can come back, talk to you about other options as we move forward, but really just to to get a better understanding of what the next steps the town would like to do. But I'm going to turn it over to Sam before he gets technical, so he can get a little more technical, but if there are any overview questions for me. All right, Sam's up. I'll be right here.
Okay, hope this works. You all can see it. So, yeah, I just want to kind of provide a high-level overview of what these appendices are, what's included in them, what kind of their main purpose is. So, Appendix CC and RC. CC is the commercial appendix, RC the residential. Essentially, zero energy commercial and residential building provisions that are included in the 2025 New York Energy Code as voluntary appendices. They are designed as informational and providing a framework for a municipality or jurisdiction that would want to go down this road. They are not mandatory unless, of course, that jurisdiction adopts them. They do also require compliance with the rest of the energy code. So it's not just taking the rest of the energy code, all the pieces that are in that, and replacing it with these appendices. You have to comply with all of the other requirements within them, and then more so on this side, as Liz was saying, kind of taking it a step further. Again, they provide a framework for designing zero energy commercial and residential buildings that require energy modeling and compliance with using energy modeling for compliance. They encourage buildings to offset annual energy use with renewable energy, supporting state goals, reduced energy consumption, and decarbonization goals. And as Liz kind of mentioned, they're based on the IECC Zero Energy Appendix model. So essentially, the IECC board creates these appendices that are then states can include them in their state energy code as optional appendices. So New York decided purposely to include these appendices as optional models for jurisdictions to potentially adopt. They are not related to the All Electric Buildings Act. Just want to kind of, just a little bit of the table setting. That's obviously something that has been postponed, a lot of talk around it, and they are not necessarily slated to be the next New York Energy Code. I know like New York Stretch in the past is typically thought of as a lot of those things are going to be in the next energy code. These appendices are very different from that because they take it a step further and require renewable energy. The town of Ithaca is the only town in New York State that has adopted the appendices. As far as I know, they're the only town in the country that's adopted them. They have been on kind of this long-standing, detailed, planned, and phased-in approach that they started 6 years ago or so, and they've had kind of steps along the way that their energy code has increasingly bumped up over a 2-year period to ultimately get to this point. They've actually used a lot of the funding from the program that you all are involved in from NYSERDA to help fund a lot of those changes. Studies that need to be done, talking about cost implications and so forth when filing with DOS and those types of things. So that's kind of our only real example, and it's really just started. So there's a lot of kind of unknown related to some of those implementation and cost figures. Just a quick overview. The commercial appendix again requires compliance with the energy code, and in its simplest form requires that compliance with renewable energy included. There's exemptions within it: manufactured homes, agricultural buildings, critical infrastructure, hospitals, medical facilities. It can be a combination of on-site and off-site. This is all just new construction too. I should make that very clear. We're not going back and looking at existing buildings. So this is just anything new that would come in. But essentially, a building is modeled, and between on-site and off-site renewable energy, you have to kind of meet the net zero requirement. On-site renewable energy located on the building or property. Most commonly, this is solar PV systems. System size is determined using modeled building energy demand. Off-site renewable energy generated at another location. May include community solar or dedicated renewable energy generation, and it's used when sufficient on-site generation is not possible. Energy modeling is required for compliance to make sure to one, kind of get the expected annual renewable energy production, and then ensure that that annual renewable production is greater than the annual energy used to make it net zero. Appendix RC, very similar, again requires compliance with the energy code. Little complication in the way that is, it actually requires one specific compliance path with the energy code. The energy code has a prescriptive path, used to be called a performance path, now an ERI path. This requires residential buildings to go down the ERI path, and then again add renewables. It includes increased efficiency targets under that ERI path. So essentially what an ERI path is, it's a HERS rating, if you've heard of that. It's a score, energy score for the house that's modeled. This appendix would not only require renewables, but it would actually require a more efficient building. You'd have to hit a more stringent score. Again, there's exemptions for that, additions, alterations, repairs. Again, we're not touching anything that's already been built. Change of occupancy and use case, we're not touching those things with this appendix. This is just an example of kind of how scores would need to change based on the appendix. So a typical score of 53 drops down to a 42 when you are not including renewables, so that you can get that building down to the that appendices are aiming for. And then the requirements around residential are very similar to those around commercial. The home must generate as much energy as it uses annually. Again, the system sizes are determined through energy modeling. Renewable energy is required. Both on-site and off-site are allowable. So, both very similar in how they operate between the commercial and the residential appendices. So that's just kind of a high-level overview. Want to open it up to some questions. I know, Building Inspector, you had sent us some initial kind of thoughts, concerns, but want to give the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, and just also something Sam and I were talking about previously as well, is that the outline that we had, that Sam just had gone through, could be a starting point too and there could be changes, modifications made specific to Goshen. That could just be a starting point. I just wanted to add that kind of caveat as well as you consider or think this through.
Yeah, listen, from my perspective, this is something that I think is inevitable, it's gonna happen, so I'd like to, I think the town of Goshen should take the lead on what we're doing rather than the state telling us exactly what to do and implement the things that we need to implement in that code. But I know Frank has some reservations. I'll lean the floor to him and let him talk a little bit about where we are and where we need to go in order to satisfy his needs.
Frank Love, the building inspector. I want to thank Sam and Liz for this nice presentation. The obvious concerns I would have is the cost of implementing this, right? We're talking about capturing some renewable energy. So if it's a house, talking about solar panels on a roof, that's all cost. If you're going to go off-site to get renewable energies, talking about a solar farm, you're talking about battery energy storage system, which is under a moratorium at this time. So I think the timing is, we have to discuss that further. Like you said, Sam and Liz, maybe there's a different way, but what's presented right now with the RC and CC appendices, these are the obvious concerns, the cost of it. So I had 7 bullet points which I presented to the board in the past and to the town engineer, and Sam, you also have that. So these buildings have to be designed constructed, inspected, and certified by an outside agency, typically like a HERS rater. That again is more cost. There's only one municipality, Town of Ithaca. Again, the timing. You might drive away developers if it's gonna cost, I don't know, $50,000 to build a home with this policy. They might not build in Goshen, so we have to think about that. I'm not discouraging it, I just want to put things on the table for further discussion. One thing I'm not clear on, so when I do a plan review for a house, if there's any discrepancy on my review with the code that I'm citing, the state of New York could weigh in for an interpretation. What would be the mechanism here for an interpretation? Is it NYSERDA? Is it the Codes Bureau in Albany? Because it's not a mandated thing to build. So that's a question I still have. The variance process, who's gonna take care of that variance procedure if you want to, is there a variance process? I'm not even sure, but who's gonna handle that? A couple of other things, just real quick, I know it's a long night here. You know, Governor Hochul is initiating certain things more on SECRA and the environment to like streamline the process because it's very expensive and it's time consuming to do anything in this state right now. So that kind of goes against this whole layer of appendices. Again, I'm not discouraging it or encouraging, I just want to put things on the table. I think that's it for now. As this develops, I might have more things to talk about, but that's all I would have for now.
So Sam, what is the process for a variance? What is who do we go to if a builder comes in or a resident comes in and says, I don't want to do something, and has a legitimate reason? Is there a variance process? Can we appeal to anybody? Or is it sit with us?
As far as I know, and I think this is the what we heard from the town of Ithaca, it falls on the local jurisdiction. So it's not mandated by the state because this is an optional thing that the town of Goshen would be adopting themselves. So it's all at the local level for a variance process. As far as I know, I can go back and talk with the town of Ithaca, talk a little bit more specifically with them about their variance processes. I know that they have their code is posted on their town website, and they told us, you know, feel free to come in and talk to us about anything. It does set kind of a good framework for something if you want to think about variances, but I do think that falls more towards the local level than it would the state.
But I think we will confirm, because we can also just send a quick note to Department of State too and ask them to get clarification on that for you.
And when you're establishing this for a residential building, is it all or nothing? Can you establish a code that says boilers must be electric? Do you have to get solar? Do you have to get everything in the process of building a home? Or if they just convert to electric, that's enough to say you adhere to the stretch to zero code?
So these specific appendices are based in renewable energy. It's not a all-electric mandate option or anything like that. Now, what Liz, I think, alluded to at the beginning, and some of the other things that we talked about, we can certainly work up creative ways to design phased-in approaches or other different approaches to where, again, these are just frameworks, and there's other appendices that exist, solar readiness, EV readiness, maybe even electric readiness, that we could probably work in and maybe even combine different things together to where that may look like a better option, to where, like you say, now you're presenting options to somebody who comes in, not saying it has to be this way, it can also be this way or this way.
And I think that also goes, oh, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I also think that would lend though that idea lends itself to the green code option that we've seen other municipalities explore. It provides a little more optionality for the applicant to pick how they would like to go.
So am I hearing this straight? We can design our own code. We can pick and choose what we want in this. We can say we're gonna go with electric boilers. We're not gonna force them to put solar on their roof, but we may look at battery backup in there. I mean, can we design a program that fits Frank's needs well, an astronomical cost to a developer, which in turn goes, goes down to the.
I believe we can. We did something very similar in the village of Hastings. That, I know there was initial thought that we don't necessarily want to go down that road. I think they wanted to be more inclusive and comprehensive than maybe it needed to be. That's just what they wanted, that's what they desire. We can pick from a menu of whatever we would like to focus on that might benefit the town in other ways. Like the village of Hastings has a lot on site improvements. They have a lot on, I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but it goes beyond just, renewable energy or electrification. Electrification is a kind of a central theme in it. But we can design things that, yes, can meet town goals, but also meet goals of the Stretch to Zero program. The one thing that we were able to do with the Village of Hastings is we were successful in getting that code actually approved by the Department of State, which is no small feat for designing a local code. You have to kind of be very careful on what elements that you're putting into the code. They can't conflict with anything that's in the energy code or in the uniform codes. But what we heard from our feedback from the Department of State is, I think, kind of going towards your point, the biggest reason that it was accepted is because it provided optionality. It was all kind of, nothing in that code was mandatory. Somebody could come in and decide based on their project, their building, which of these measures fits to make me comply with this code.
Okay.
And that is something, as we go through this process, we have the template, I'll say, from Hastings. We have the process from Hastings. It's something that we can continue. And I guess from NYSERDA's perspective, where we have these milestones, it's almost just a reaffirmation of us to continue down this path, and the interest of the town to continue with this project. So it's something that we can, if that's the direction, and you don't have to say so right now, but if that is the direction, we can continue to work on developing that code. We can work with Frank, continue to work with you supervisors. We kind of finalize and come up with those options that we can come back and present again to the town board.
What are our timeframes to get this done? I know we're against the clock.
I can extend out the contract.
Okay.
You can what? I'm sorry.
Extend out the contract.
We have a contract on the grant, and I can work on extending out the contract to, now that we have a more formal, direction, I can extend out the contract to make sure we, can include these milestones.
Okay.
So,
It's a contract for our grant.
Right.
so far we have gotten some grants. What's the incentive? Is there more incentives for us to go into this program?
You currently have been receiving quarterly reimbursements for attending and participating in trainings. There are 2 milestone payments that are outstanding. One would be a legislative action on the adoption of a more advanced code, and then the second would be in the enactment. That would be the outstanding balance for those 2. It's $125,000 for each milestone, so you have $250,000 that can then be reinvested into the town, either to use as support as you go through the process, or projects and investments you want to make on your own infrastructure.
So the total amount to adopt this and make this law would be $250,000.
Yes.
What's remaining?
That's remaining
I know,
on the contract.
We've already fulfilled what we had to do.
Previously, yes.
We don't have to give that back, do we? If we
No,
adopt this?
you would not. I want to make sure that we continue this process. We don't want to take any of the money back or not give you the rest of the money.
Right, but this is really big.
So-
This is really big for our developers and our, this is really
Well, we all
a big
realize
step,
that,
yeah.
we all realize that we have an energy crisis, so I think the whole purpose of us getting involved in this is to see what we can do to try to help with that process.
No, I understand, but to get involved full on and not really understand what the process is, and it's not a step process for developers and builders and stuff, like Joe said, maybe we can do parcels and stuff. I
We
don't know
can
if you
develop our
have.
own
Yeah,
the only-
I think a phased
the only
approach makes a lot of
municipality-
sense. I think,
The only municipality you have is Ithaca. Is
For-
Rod, is.
for this approach.
For this approach.
Right, is Rodney House still the supervisor there, or he's not?
I don't know.
Okay, he's a relative, so.
Uh,
I can probably get a lot of information.
The town of Ithaca there with, not the city.
The town,
Yeah.
he's a supervisor.
But with this, if we were to go with the green code, we would also, you know, we wouldn't just come back to you and expect adoption. You know,
Right.
we would work with you on public engagement as we would filter through what the final code, what the code could look like, what the optionality would be.
Mm.
So if we wouldn't just come back to you in 6 months and say, here you go. We'll continue to work with Frank, we'll continue to work with the supervisor, we'll come and hold
Yeah.
public information sessions so we can gather feedback,
Great.
and just learn
Okay.
more about the process.
Well, maybe it's an opinion, but what do you think is the best renewable energy? I mean, there's gotta be options, right? I mean, is it solar, is it wind, is it? like,
Yeah, I mean, I think for this application, it's solar.
Yeah.
Does community solar, with the amount of community solar projects we have in our town right now, and people buying from that solar without having solar on their roof, still be part of being in this program, part of this process?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a way to comply. It doesn't have to be
Okay.
rooftop solar PV. So,
So you jumped into a
Yeah.
community host project, community electric project from solar, and that's how you electrify your house, you qualify under the code if you're doing that.
yeah, you can get to that renewable energy requirement through on-site or off-site renewable.
And also just this would also be for new construction. So
Yes.
it's not like everyone in the town would have to go
Right.
run out
Right.
and buy solar, it'd be for new construction.
Can you explain, you talk about Hastings a lot.
You have a relative there?
I wish I had a house there. Anyway, but Hastings is not in the program, but yet they seem to have done an awful lot of.
They
They
were.
were
Yeah,
part
they
of
were.
the board.
So why aren't they like it?
They just took a different
They
approach.
took a different approach.
So Ithaca, backing up, I don't know when they started, I'm gonna say 6 years ago.
That's what I was gonna ask
It's
you.
essentially kind of developed this Ithaca Green Code plan.
Right.
And they started with a small step up from what the current New York State Energy Code was. And then 2 years later, there was another step that they implemented. And then 2 years later, there was I think they were initially going for the Zero Code, which is another third-party certification service. But then they decided ultimately to switch from that Zero Code to this. So their process was already in place prior to this program even existing. We just helped them along the way. They knew where they wanted to go, and they already had kind of vetted that through the town, gone through the process, gotten approval for their Green Code. Hastings was starting a little bit more from scratch in that area. They had adopted New York Stretch, but they were also very kind of interested in looking at climate and resiliency and other things that they could take on. So they didn't necessarily go through the same. The Hastings Green Code is in addition to the Energy Code. The Ithaca Energy Code supplement, or this, is an overlay essentially. So it's just two different approaches.
Hastings was part of the program. One of the things we were doing throughout the process was kind of sharing information across the 3 municipalities, learning from each other, sharing the feedback that you get from the market, you know, as you were trying to do new things, and also just prepare your communities for a more advanced energy code. So we spent a lot of time, I think, back and forth between the 3 municipalities over the past couple of years. Ithaca chose ultimately to complete the program with the appendices. Hastings chose to complete the program with the Green Code. Just want to present both of those options. We could try to come up with another option too, if that's what the
Maybe a
board chooses.
combination.
Yeah, or a combination of the two, if that's what the board chooses. Really just want a confirmation to continue down this path, to continue working with the town, and continue to try to get you guys across the finish line with the program.
Melissa, anything?
No, thank you for the presentation. Lots of food for
So
thought.
one other thing, it would be nice to be able to add this, probably not, this Frank touched on it. How much a home would cost more in, you know, with these amenities, so to speak, as compared to a home that would be built without.
Sure, and that's the thing, if we go down the green code thing.
Right, so
that
we can
do
develop
for-
that. Once you
Yeah, we
develop
can-
your code, then you come up with a cost analysis.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and obviously.
And
a lot
that
of
was
things are
also,
up in the
sorry,
air.
it was something that we have more control over it when we were working the Hastings model than, you know, adopting a code that's already developed. So it was certainly something that we kept in mind with all the different measures that we were debating on including in it or not. What is the cost implication of this? One, to the builder or developer, whoever it might be, but also to the consumer, who's buying the house, how much is it gonna increase their cost?
Or save them over time. too,
Right, so
on the flip
there's,
side.
you know, a method to the madness on, you know, how
Yeah, there
we
could be a
develop a
savings.
measure.
Yes.
Correct. Rebates and too, also.
Yep, over the life cycle cost of the house. So it's something that as we put through, if the, you know, and we'll follow up with the supervisor just to confirm and, you know, continuing down the path, but that's all information as we dig in.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll sit down with Sean, I'll sit down with Frank, and we'll come up with a plan on what we want to do, and then we'll get back to you on how we want to move forward with this, but I think we want to move forward with it, you know, I think some semblance of energy, cost savings.
Yeah, Mr. Supervisor, can I just add one thing to this?
Yeah.
So, you know, as you're considering this, Frank touched on this, he touched on, you know, solar, you've heard a lot about solar
Right.
tonight, you have a moratorium on solar. You just want to make sure that if this is a path you're going, that you're consistent with the comprehensive plan, for example, right? So if the comprehensive plan has a tightening on solar, that might not work with this, right? You might be starving that path off and creating a problem in the future. So you're gonna wanna, I think, work with Sam and Liz and figure out if this is the way you go, how much solar would you need to support the
Right,
development? to meet the
that's
code
what I was
requirements?
thinking, of all the new developments, how much solar can the commercial establishments, solar establishments provide for how many households? I mean, it's not, I don't think there's a huge amount of
Yeah, I mean,
energy
it's all
that's
project
provided.
specific, and you
Yeah.
have to have details to run the numbers, but I also wanna make sure that we're clear that these options, these
Yeah.
appendices are based in renewables and solar.
Uh-huh.
The Village of Hastings Green Building Code, I don't think touches solar.
Yeah.
So that's not solar is not a requirement of
Right.
the Stretch to Zero program.
Right.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that everybody,
But then-
these are, if you went down this path,
Right.
certainly we're going to be using some solar somewhere.
Are they is it the only municipality in all New York State that has this?
They are.
And we've been working on this for about 6 years?
They have.
They developed their
Someone
plan
has.
6
Yeah.
years ago.
Right, but
That
that's,
included the phase-in approach.
right, but,
Yes.
okay. Good,
Well,
thank you.
I guess that what Phil is saying is what other municipalities are working on this
Yeah.
now? Are there?
This is a pilot.
Best practices.
This is a pilot
There's a
program.
pilot,
There
there's
are
only three municipalities.
Yeah.
Looking at best
This is a
practices.
pilot program. There are
And so
other
it's-
municipalities across the state who have taken separate actions, but we've been focusing on these three because they've been the cohort that's been
I see. So
participating
it's
in this
us,
pilot
and
program.
who are the other two?
Hastings on Hudson and Ithaca.
Oh, they're the ones that we talked about. So,
Yeah,
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 I got it.
Your cousin's place and your cousin's.
Well,
George wishes it was his cousin's place.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get back to you, once I sit with Sean and Frank, we'll get back to you on what the next steps are, but I think we want to move forward and try to develop a plan that works for the town of Goshen.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And I have to say, as a planning nerd, congratulations on this comprehensive plan. That was
Almost
fun to
there.
listen in. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. We're almost there. Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Take care, Frank.
Next item on the agenda is review and discuss the ADB permit for IWS. As we're all aware, the town board previously completed SEQA process for this application, accepted the final environmental impact statement, and adopted SEQA findings on April 23rd. Tonight's action concerns the ADB approval itself and authorization for the issuance of the corresponding permits. I'll turn it over to the town attorney for this portion of this?
So, before the board tonight are two related documents. First is the proposed resolution approving the Chapter 80B application and authorizing issuance of permits. Second is the permit document itself, which will be executed by the supervisor if the resolution is adopted. Everybody got a chance to review both of those documents? I mean, they mirror each other.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some similarities.
Yeah, the resolution constitutes the town board's formal action under 80B, incorporates the previously adopted secret findings, permit document, operationalizes that approval and contains the ongoing construction and operational terms and conditions applicable to the facility. Chapter 80B, as you know, contemplates both a construction permit and an operation permit. Put them together for administrative efficiency, figured one single permit instrument, less documents the better. It still effectuates the city either way. Just to recap what is being approved, the proposed approval reflects the same project analyzed in the FEIS and the adopted board secret findings, including authorization for throughput of up to 670 tons per day, municipal solid waste and construction and demolition debris. As anticipated, I know, Phil, you've consistently have had your thoughts on that, but again, it goes off the applicant's request, and then,
Yes,
and then
of course.
we can deal with it at motion time, right?
Absolutely.
I just want to acknowledge you again on that. So the approval incorporates conditions relating to traffic, environmental controls, inspections, monitoring, compliance with all applicable DEC permits and approvals. In anticipation of the question regarding fair share contribution, the proposed permit also incorporates the transportation mitigation contribution identified in the town traffic consultant's report. It's consistent with the board's findings. The requirement is implemented as a permit condition rather than incorporated into the findings themselves. The number is not necessarily contained in there, but it's the mitigation, and they have to operate under that. And the permit would allow you guys to ensure that that's going on if you adopt it. So, Supervisor, if you want to open it up to members of the town board for questions and
absolutely.
discussion.
I'll start out with you, Phil.
Okay. My approach on this was very simple. I have been consistent for the last 2 years. When they made the application, first of all, the history is they were allowed 340 tons. They operated, a permit with Goshen ran out, so they had a DEC permit. So they operated on that, which was not legal, but they did, and that was 600 tons a day, plus 70 tons of recyclables. When they came to us, they wanted to expand and operate with a higher amount. I said I would be agreeable to go along with the DEC permit of 600 tons and 70 tons of recyclables. Now, it was their choice. They made an application to eliminate the recyclables and just take 670 tons of C&D waste. Well, let me mind you that C&D waste is construction debris, and intended or not intended, there's a lot of toxic material in C&D waste. What this means is they don't want to recycle, which is renewable, and that's what we're looking for going further. They would just like to use an additional 70 tons of C&D waste, bring more toxic garbage into Goshen. I think we have enough garbage into Goshen. Once again, this is their request. They could have tailored their request and said, you know what? We had a DEC, and I'm not sure they have the approval for this to begin with, but they could have tailored their request and said, you know, we'll want the higher amount. If you do it, we'll do 600 tons and be legally permitted and 70 tons of recycling, but no. This is a profit. To me, it's a real greed situation, and I'm going to be honest. I have to look in the mirror and say, do I really concern myself with additional profit by eliminating recyclables, which are more environmental friendly? Or do I look in the mirror and say, it doesn't really matter, I'm not concerned with the residents of Goshen, I would rather see them make higher profits for no reason whatsoever except making higher profits. So I'm really appalled, and I have not changed my position, but it has just gotten stronger. I think it's out of order. I don't think they're good neighbors. I think we've had problems. They'll be bringing more trucks in and more C&D garbage. Goshen is the capital, the garbage capital of New York State. We have 2 of the largest landfills in New York State. That is enough. So I would be derelict in my duty as a councilman to represent the town of Goshen to allow an additional 70 tons a day of garbage to come in when it is totally not necessary, only because this applicant asked for it. That's my approach. I will be voting no on this process. They can change it, come back in, and say, okay, we understand, we want to be good neighbors, and we don't want to flood or Goshen. So we'll change it to 600 tons, just like it was, just like they've been operating, and allow 70 tons of recyclable, which is good for the environment. They can do that at any time. So, as far as I'm concerned, thank you, Mr. Supervisor, for letting me take the floor, but my position has not changed.
Just to clarify, Councilman Cantorino, I understand where you're coming from, but if you take into consideration that they process all the recyclables for the County of Orange, and I've confirmed this with Eric Denega, it would make 0 sense for them to bring 70 tons to 6.5 station, to their facility on Hartley, just to take it and move it over to the Orange County landfill. That's what they'd be doing.
It's not my problem.
Well,
It goes to the landfill. What happens is, if they take the 70 tons and bring it to the landfill, we still have 70 tons a day less C&D waste. Because those recyclables will go to the landfill, or they'll go someplace else. That is not Goshen's problem. I am an elected councilman for the town of Goshen. I will protect my constituents. So,
And listen, I'm not gonna try to change your mind.
No, all I want to do is.
I'm not gonna change your mind.
No, but what I'm saying is I want to give you the correct information.
I know, but
That's what will
if
happen
we're
to
talking about
recyclables.
sustainability and we're talking about pollution and we're talking about everything, we would be remiss to allow them to bring 70 tons to Hartley Road, dump it, reload it, just to bring it to the Orange County landfill. Because that's what they'd be doing.
Well, then what would they, no, that's fine. That is not my problem. What they would be doing, if we allow it, is bringing 70 extra tons of C&D waste. Those recyclables will still go to Orange County landfill. I am trying to reduce 70 tons of waste coming into Goshen. That's all I'm trying to do.
We're assuming that the waste is coming into Goshen from other municipalities.
Well, maybe it won't. I hope not. If we tailor them and say you don't take you don't want to move the recyclables, fine. Then you take 600 tons of C&D.
I respect
Let another
your position.
municipality worry about that waste.
I respect your position. George?
Thank you.
Okay, first thing, I've been asking this question quite a long, does IWS have a DEC permit?
No.
Yes.
Yes?
You do?
Yes, we have a permit.
What's the permit?
What's the permit for?
600 tons per day of MSW C&D, 70 tons of recyclables. We submitted a permit for modification renewal to convert that 70 tons per day into MSW and C&D, and we're waiting for the DEC to.
So is there a chance that the DC won't approve that?
I have no idea.
So then, along with that, should we be approving tonight exactly what their DEC permit is, and then they have to come back to convert it if they get the conversion? I'm not sure how we can say we would accept 670,000 tons of MSW if their 360 permit doesn't allow that.
Right.
Just for clarification, I'm asking the legal
There's a couple
position.
ways to look at it, Mr. Supervisor. The first way is that it's an up to limit, right? It's no further exceedance than that 670. But if the board would be more comfortable in tying it to the DEC permit, making the applicant come back, just realize you're gonna have to go through the process again. if that's how the applicant wants to handle it.
Or can we approve it contingent on what they have today, and if they're approved at the DEC, it's automatic? I mean, I just can't see voting on something today that they don't have, but I'm more than willing to vote on something today that they could get.
I can't understand why we're so worried about them having additional 70 tons of DEC, of C and D. I just don't understand that.
I'm not worried about, I'm worried about just getting through the application process. That's what our job is to do, not worried about whether they make money or don't make money. That's not our, not for us
Well,
to worry
that's all
about.
this thing is about.
Well, I'm not here to speculate on that. I'm just here to get through the process. There's an application in front of us. I'm trying to get through the application but I don't want to leave the town open to anything if we give a permit based on something that they don't have.
I don't, and you can hear from Rory on this, but I don't think you're leaving yourself open to anything.
Okay.
You completed your secret review, you considered for the most impactful scenario, 670 tons. However, if the board doesn't want to do that because you're uncomfortable because the DEC hasn't acted first, then you could tie it to the DEC permit. You could make it 600 and have the applicant come back in the future after they have that DEC permit. There really, in your code, there really is no outlined or specific procedure where the DEC has to go first and you have to go second. So it really is up to you how you want to do it. But you, again, you analyze it for the 670, so you could do that if that's what you choose to do.
So we could approve based on what they have with the intent of a future approval if the DEC
No.
helps them to 670?
Yes.
There's no future approval, no. You could consider it, but you can't say now that we will approve something in the future.
I don't think that's what the supervisor was asking. I think he was asking whether you could have a permit now for 600, and once that they get through the DEC, whatever they get through the
They
DEC
come back with the
for
permit.
the 670.
They come back with a new request, and we vote on that.
Just clarifying what I understand.
I'm not asking that question. I'm asking, would it be automatic is what I'm asking?
No.
You could structure it that way if the board chose to.
Okay.
I would have to revise both documents to reflect that. Not that I'm not.
Well, I don't think we have the ability to approve something that they don't have. Correct? They're asking us to approve 670 tons. I wouldn't have a problem if that's what they
No, I
have.
think you can approve it. They asked for it, we did the study on it, and they may not be able to operate under that.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. There would be a
Yeah.
restriction on their part based on what their
What
State
other,
permit.
what other permitting authorities have limited them to, but you could go above it, they're still restricted by whatever their DEC permit allows.
okay. I got you. So
We're not overriding
Yeah.
a state authority.
I got it.
That's
trying to
that's my
protect us from a
understanding,
legal
but-
measure,
But
that's
again,
all.
you know, it's, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think I'd probably be more comfortable. I always ask about the DEC and, what their approvals have been time and time. And
Yeah. We didn't create this. They created this by asking for the additional tonnage. We did not create this. They're operating on the 600 plus 70. They could have asked for that and gotten the approval tonight and moved on. So I think if the DEC comes back and says no, or 670,
Well, they would operate under the more restrictive permit.
I know.
So if the
understand.
DEC doesn't allow it, they're capped at whatever the DEC permit, which
Right.
may be what they're already operating under. I don't know.
well, that's what they're operating under right now. is the DEC
So if we
permit.
pass it tonight with 670 of.
All C and D waste.
All C and D, we're kind of leading it on to DEC.
Absolutely.
DEC
No, I think what they're saying
hey,
is,
the town approved it. Well,
DEC
I
doesn't
guess
care
they
what
must
we
be
do.
okay with that.
That's right, George.
No, whereas I like to
That's
go
right,
by
George.
what we have now.
George.
And what we have now is 670 renewables. I don't want to pass something that's enhanced if the DEC still has to permit under the, call it the old rule.
I think part of we've got to distinguish something is that the DEC's lack of action, more bureaucratic, we can operate quicker at a local level, right? So it's not gonna influence I think that could influence the DEC is a bit, I just don't see it
Yeah, but listen
moving
to
the
what
needle.
George is saying.
I understand, but it's not gonna,
So if the town approved it, let's just approve it and move on.
That is.
That's not the way it works.
That's- That's what George is saying.
I know that, and that's what I'm pushing back on. I think we're two separate entities.
I fully understand.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
don't know, DEC won't do that. They're a higher power or whatever those types of things. As far as I'm concerned, that may happen, but I don't want to go and kind of give the incentive, the 670, before DEC actually approves that.
So the question then comes back is, what does the DEC's opinion affect your opinion? You guys have already adopted findings under secret. So what difference does it make? The DEC, you didn't include the DEC's analysis in your analysis, right?
I've been asking what did the DEC permit right along. I must have asked that question 6 times.
We're at the finish line.
We're at the final stage.
Yeah,
We're across the
so we did all, I mean, it's.
And I think we were led down this garden path a little bit the last time we voted on this, and I voted no. And it was indicated that, well, it's not really a big deal, because you can vote yes now, and later on they're gonna come for a permit. We've been led down the garden path.
The problem also is these questions are at the 11th hour, asking me to give you legal advice on the fly, right? And I vehemently disagree with what you're stating. Because that's directed at Phil, that's directed at me.
No.
Because I said that.
Absolutely.
And that's disingenuous to do in an open meeting, right?
We'll pull the minutes, because I know what I heard, and that's why I voted no.
I know what I said. So please, this could have been done, for the last 2 weeks, this could have been done.
Intentional, I'm not telling you it was intentional,
But
but
if
that's
you guys
the
are
way-
thinking this stuff, then ask the legal advice during the 2-week period, not up here, pontificating, right? And then putting me on the spot and then telling me I said something to you. That's not
We
fair.
asked for a legal question.
But you had 2 weeks to
That's
do
why I
it. You guys have been
voted no.
thinking about it for 2 weeks, so you're doing it.
No, we didn't.
You'll still be getting recyclables delivered somewhere. So you'll still be picking them up and taking them directly to the county landfill, correct or not? Okay, so all the garbage that you get, is it specifically C&D, or is there residential garbage?
No, I think it's primarily
It's municipal solid waste, right? So it's
Combination of two.
it's not 100% C&D.
Right.
But it's not 670 tons, because if it is. we have a
residential
problem.
garbage,
No,
which isn't
no,
all
no,
C&D.
listen.
It's not C&D.
But it's not
You're stating the
recyclables.
wrong thing.
No.
I'm saying, you're saying it's all C&D,
I
which it is not.
didn't say it was all C&D.
You did.
That's
what you did. You did.
Oh, well, I said
You
C&D
did. You said it was all
because,
C&D, so it's not C&D, it's residential garbage.
because in here it
And there may be
states,
some C&D, which the county landfill, by the way, also gets C&D. So recyclables go to the county landfill, and residential and C&D go to the.
let's just talk about straight waste.
Municipal solid waste.
600, and I don't care what it is, waste is waste, whether it's picked
It's
up.
not all toxic though. It's your garbage from your house.
I'm not sure why you people are arguing against this.
Well, I'm just telling you, you're saying the wrong
where
thing.
this board's coming
No,
from.
I
I really am.
Are you trying to, I'm trying to understand, are you trying to determine how much of their waste stream is municipal solid waste and how much is C&D?
No, what I'm trying to establish, or what I have established, it said C&D in here someplace, but I don't have the time to look for this. It doesn't matter, it refers to C&D in this document. However, all I'm saying to you is that they are allowed to put 600 tons of waste, whether it's municipal or whatever, plus 70 tons of recyclable, which is environmentally sound. Now they want to take 670 tons of waste. A lot of it will be C&D. I don't know what the percentage is. It doesn't really matter. It's all garbage. It would have all gone into the landfill. And this is really simple. It's not rocket science. All I'm saying is they should not have 670 tons of waste. They should stick to 600 tons of waste and 70 tons of recyclable, which is more environmentally friendly. That's it. I'm not going to go into any other stuff. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science.
Let's at least understand and consider that the 70 tons of waste, 70 tons of recycling is being picked up by them and is being delivered.
I don't care what it is.
I'm not trying to
Even
argue.
if they can pick it up. If they're picking up, are you picking up an additional 70 tons of recycling right now? 670 tons of waste and 70 tons of recycling? Is that what you're doing right now?
No.
What are you doing?
Did you say 670 plus 70?
Yes.
No, this permit doesn't.
No,
operate.
so he's not, they're not taking,
No, but you're asking, the reason that they're, I'm trying to make you understand, not make you understand, I'm trying to elaborate as to why they're asking for the 70. The reason they're asking, just let me
No,
try to
I'm
explain.
listening, I'm listening.
The reason that, and if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. The reason that they're asking for the additional 70 tons of municipal solid waste is because it exists in the county, it exists in Goshen.
Right.
And it would be sitting idle because they're never gonna bring recyclable to their facility because they already bring it to the county. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's correct.
So where will the 70 tons that you're not going to collect go?
They are collecting the 70 tons of
Where?
recycling.
That they're not going to collect in the future.
No, they're always gonna
No,
collect
it's
it.
just
Wait,
bringing
wait,
stone to a
wait.
different
Hold on.
spot. It's
Hold
not
on, hold
going,
on.
it's
You're going to collect 670 tons of waste. That's what you're asking for.
They're transfer.
Not
No.
recyclable.
They-
Well, just let him answer the question if you want to answer. Is 70 tons of that recyclable? That you're going to be picking up in the future?
you're kind of confusing, I think you're confusing things.
Okay, then let me understand.
Right now, we have 600 plus 70 recyclable. The
Right.
70 tons of recyclables don't come now to the transfer station.
Where do they go?
They go to the county landfill.
Okay, next question.
It's not a landfill, it's a
Let-
Transfer, yeah, it's a recycling center.
Next
And
question.
then in turn go to your MRF down
Right.
there.
Yes, now it
Come on,
goes
Joe.
to, yes, it
Let
goes
him
to
answer
our,
the questions.
I
I'm not sure if you're
I wasn't-
representing them or us.
What?
I said, I'm not sure who you're representing, them or us.
Really, I'm representing the town of Goshen.
Okay, well.
But
Excuse
all these
me.
questions should have been done
Excuse me.
6 months ago,
Excuse me.
not sitting here arguing about it.
No, I'm voting on this now.
Okay, you're voting on it, but you're asking questions that should have been asked prior to a finding.
I can ask a question anytime I want.
Okay,
I'm an elected official for
Okay.
this town.
okay. Go ahead.
So, just to ask you that question again. The 70 tons goes directly to the landfill, or does it come to you and go to the landfill?
we take it directly over there. It doesn't come to Goshen.
No.
Doesn't come to the IWS
So
facility.
now we've established that. When you take 670 tons and not the recyclables, will all the 670 tons come to Goshen?
I can't answer that question. I have no idea. It could
Wait
be
a
the
minute.
surrounding neighborhood.
You're
I-
asking for 670 tons.
Yeah.
Will that come to Goshen?
Well, I think
Go,
you
yeah,
said that it comes
these are
from.
simple questions. Go ahead. Will that come to Goshen?
Yeah, to
Yeah,
the transfer
that's what we're
station.
asking.
So
the
there's an
transfer
extra
station work-
70 tons of garbage
Phil, do you
coming to them.
understand their permit strictly for 670 is for the Hartley Road facility?
Yes.
They can pick up 2 million tons and deliver it to the county,
I don't care.
because that's not part of their permit.
That's exactly right.
But that's what I'm trying to explain to you. There's zero purpose to bring recyclables to their facility. Okay,
Joe.
I'm never gonna get through to it, so.
No, I think,
I just want to say something.
Maybe I'm
70
misunderstanding.
tons of garbage. I'm not defending anybody. I'm just want to explain something to you. 70 tons of garbage is 2 or 3 trucks. That's it.
oh, I don't think so.
Yes, 100%.
It's not 70 tons a
70
day.
tons.
Yeah. 70 tons
Of
is 2 or
garbage.
3 trucks.
So you're
That's-
talking about 35 tons per truck? Is
No,
that what
no,
you're
we're
saying?
talking about
70
70
Seven-
tons of garbage.
There's like
2
three-
trucks.
2
So
trucks.
each truck
Be
holds
30
35 tons?
So 3 trucks.
Oh, okay.
3 trucks.
They hold about, okay.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Whatever. Okay. Here's my point. I don't want to see an additional 70 tons of garbage coming into the Goshen recycle. It's our roads, the extra tons will be coming in, I don't want to see it. I would rather see them 600 tons, and I don't care where they bring the 70 tons, if they process it or not. That's my position. You guys vote on whatever you want to do.
One other question. Do you pick up additional tonnage that doesn't go to your transfer station, that goes to somewhere else that traverses through Orange County?
Yeah.
Thank you. So they're picking up way more than
Would that make-
670?
Yeah, right.
But you're concerned,
I'm concerned with Goshen.
no, Phil, that's what I'm asking. Are you concerned about them coming on our roads, or are you concerned?
course.
are you concerned about that particular station right there? Because they're picking up way more garbage than the 600
I don't
tons.
care what they're doing. In Goshen, that particular
It's
station
going-
on our roads is allowed to pick up 600 tons of garbage, not 670 tons of garbage.
Okay, wow.
They could have asked for 1,000 tons of garbage, which may come next. All I'm saying is, I think we should go with the DEC permit. First of all, we started with 340 tons. We have escalated to 600 tons. Now we're escalating to 670 tons. Where's it gonna end? And this is all garbage coming into Goshen.
It only ends when people stop throwing away garbage, which is never gonna happen.
Okay, well, listen.
So can I continue with some other issues that I have? Okay. The thing that I've been talking about forever and ever is the host fee. And I was told at our last meeting, or maybe it was the meeting before, that the host fee language would be in these documents, specifically with the escalator clause, that it would go to up to 3% or the CPI. I don't see that in this. And should it be?
I don't believe the host fee is part of an ADB permit. It's a separate
It's
document.
a separate contractual obligation.
But it is in that, and you have agreed to the escalator.
Yes.
I can only put the traffic mitigation in because that's part of what the study
Right.
was about. The host community agreement is a financial contract separate and apart from permit. But
Well, in one of my conversations with you, Joe, you said to me, we won't pass these things until we have a signed host agreement with the escalator clause.
Correct. So this, the approval tonight would be contingent on that closing.
Okay.
Rory has to prepare that document, send it off. I spoke to the CEO of, I'm not sure, Tim, if you can sign it, I know Mike DeBella's on vacation, but I did speak to him, and he agreed to sign
No, he did, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and there's no problem with that 3% escalator.
Whatever it was agreed.
it. It
I know there was.
was, CO, it was the cost of living
CPI.
not to exceed 3%.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So, George, you can, if this goes to a vote, and you can make that vote contingent on the host agreement being adopted as amended.
That's what that's what I'd like to do. Now, I'm looking at the construction and operation permits, and there's a couple of things that, maybe you look at them as details, but that's the way I am. The third down on page 2 should be will meet, I think. not
In the
will.
permit of the resolution, I'm sorry, George, permit, okay.
Yeah.
Which number? Go ahead.
On page 2,
Yeah.
the second, be it further resolved. Or
That's
be it
the resolution.
I don't have that.
Resolution.
So I have that, it's any,
Well, that's the resolution, I'm sorry, I was looking at the
That's
construction.
the resolution.
so just that's being E. Do you see that, Roy?
I'm sorry, I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
You're at the be further resolved, the third one, did you say, or the fourth?
Yeah, therefore, be it resolved, it's the second be it resolved.
Okay.
The first one is now, therefore.
Okay, gotcha.
It's the second, see that where it says, it should be MEET, I believe.
I'm not sure what you're looking at. It says that the secret findings adopted by the town board, that one?
Town board finds approval of the application will comply with the criteria of chapter 80B.
Oh, meet, yes.
And will meet
Yeah.
the objectives, okay?
That is, I agree with that, for sure. Sorry about that.
IVES, objectives.
Now, explain to me a little bit about this 5-year thing. Because this whole permit is only good for 5 years.
5 years.
Do they come back and they have to go through the whole process again after 5 years?
Yeah, so if there's no changes, there's no change in conditions, and there's no changes in operations or the environment, there's no vehicle traffic or anything like that, then you can make a consistency finding with your seeker finding statement, meaning that what they're proposing in the future is consistent with what you had already analyzed under seeker. So you wouldn't have to go through seeker, you wouldn't have to have them prepare a TIS, it would just be reviewing the permit.
Right, so in other words, if I said, okay, we want to kick it up to 5%, that would be something that you could do after the 5 years?
That would be a negotiation, yes.
Well, we're in two different worlds.
The host agreement is different from the ADB permit, but the host, I think what he's saying is can we renegotiate the host agreement at the 5 years if we're renegotiating?
You can technically renegotiate it the next day after you sign it.
Yeah, you can do
But they should be viewed as mutually exclusive,
Correct.
separate. This just happens to be all tied in one at this time. I don't know that it would be every time.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
think,
like the idea of the 5 years, but we've never done 5 years before.
well, we didn't have a,
Maybe it was.
we didn't really have
We
a,
never did it.
The 5 years is in your code.
It
It's
is
part
in
of
the
the
code.
5 years was in the code?
Yeah, we should have done it 5 years
We should
after,
have
but
done
we
it.
didn't do it.
Okay.
correct.
That's exactly right.
Correct, so that's why
It's
it
in
was
the
4 and
code.
2, but it's in the.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then a couple of other details as far as, I'm on the same document now.
Sure.
Only I'm on page 3. It says the town, this is the end of the first paragraph on the top.
Okay.
The town board may require as-built plans to support certification. I think that should be changed to will require.
I think that was suggested to me and it didn't make it in.
That was my suggestion, no, that was my suggestion,
to
I
take
copied
it-
that language exactly out of your code.
You change it from shall to may.
No. I'm pretty certain that the code says that it's not a shall. It's a
No,
may.
that's what I wrote. I
It's
think
not
I
a
wrote
shall, it's a will?
It's a may.
Oh, it's a may.
a may,
Yeah,
it's a shall.
but this is a different document.
But you gotta adhere to your code.
Yeah, I just made it consistent with your code, that's all. Your
Oh,
code doesn't require as-built, your code allows you to
So
require as-built.
in other words then is, we may get as-built, or we may not.
No, but you require it, so if you choose to not require it, then you're not gonna get them. If you choose to require it, you're gonna get them,
The
that's may.
decision is ours to ask.
Shall means you have to, like you have no choice.
Let me see, there's something else. Okay, I'm going back now to page 2.
Okay.
And it says, be it further resolved, and then we have maximum permitted. What the heck does that mean there, that word? I don't even understand it.
Maximum committed?
No.
It says maximum permitted throughput shall. What's throughput?
What you can bring through.
Oh, is that a word?
It's,
Is that a word?
yeah, I mean, it's not a commonly used word.
But it's a word, throughput.
Yeah.
Oh, never heard of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just try, I just throw little Easter eggs in there for you, George, to see if you were the educator, so.
Thank you, I'm just
I
trying.
mean, you better not hear you use that word in the other day.
You can go through and put it there.
Use it in a sentence.
Joe, we have no more throughput, do we?
I'm trying to see how I could use it. Okay.
It's on a word of the day calendar, George.
Okay, let's see, let me see. I thought, this is now on page 3, that page 3, part 360, and shall promptly report any environmental incidents to the town and DEC.
Yes.
Should be added. I mean, it only makes sense, right? They have to report.
But you were talking about stormwater, so we are the MS3, right?
Well, it says leachate controls.
Right, that's all us.
Identified. It's like halfway down, and it's be it further resolved. and
Yeah, I
it's the
see
paragraph
the
that says,
paragraph.
part 360. I think the DEC should be in there.
I guess from my end, I thought it was covered by the sentence leading up to that.
Yeah, shall comply with all DEC
but
permits,
it's-
including 360.
But
Where's that? above.
right before it leads into that, shall comply with all applicable DEC permits, including Part 360, and shall promptly report any I was to understand that the DEC permits would require that reporting, so we're just adding that we want to get the report as well.
I see.
So,
Okay.
but I'll confirm that. If that's not correct, I will then tack it on
Okay.
to the town part, all right?
I also think though, if the police are called for any kind of complication, that they're gonna contact the DEC immediately.
Yeah, I think there's a self-reporting provision in for the applicant, but I'll confirm that.
Okay, no, that's what I had on the construction and operation permits.
I just wanted to comment, it just was indicated that I should have brought this issue up a couple of weeks ago or before or whatever. We should have discussed this. I've been talking about the 670 tons for 2 years. I have brought it up at every single meeting.
I don't think you said that.
And whatever it was, I didn't say you said it, but it was indicated that I should have brought it up. We should have talked about this before, and I have been, maybe the only one in Rick, where it is throughout. It says municipal waste and construction and debris right in that particular paragraph, so. And it doesn't break down what's C&D and what's municipal waste, so.
Just for
I'm done.
clarification purposes, all I said was, is we should have not approved the finding statement if that was an issue for you. That's what I said.
And I didn't approve it.
You might have voted no, but the
I
town
wrote it no, I
approved
didn't
Right,
approve it.
yeah.
Right.
I got
So
you.
we discussed it.
Clear, I
and
got you.
Okay, you.
No reason to go any further.
Okay, I appreciate
Clear.
that.
Rick, anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Melissa?
Covered.
Covered.
Okay, so then, back to Rory.
Yes, sir.
And our discussion of the DEC permit, presently now at 670 recyclables. And us having in these documents here, the 670 of municipal solid waste and construction and demolition debris.
Mhm.
There isn't a problem or difficulty with us passing that with the higher levels when DEC has not approved the same thing.
So I can answer two ways. You can do a contingency, but we'll turn it to the applicant. You get, if this is approved tonight and you have that permit, do you believe you're able to operate at 670?
Oh,
without?
we've shown that.
With,
You know,
not what I mean by that.
That's not even.
Are you authorized to
Not
do
until
that yet?
DEC would
No.
approve it.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Does that satisfy you?
So they would have to get the DEC approval for the 670.
They're still restricted
In
by
order
the
to operate.
DEC's lack
Right,
of.
So really ultimately.
We could say we're
two
giving
different
them,
entities.
we could say we're
Yes.
giving them
Getting
900
670.
tons.
Correct, so-
And they couldn't
Correct.
deliver 900.
Right, so making it contingent, it's already contingent.
Mhm.
Like, we can go to 670, but they cannot operate that amount until they get the other permit.
Right.
The same way as if, I mean, it would be a little different if the DEC gave it and we didn't. I don't want to get into that. But for the purposes of tonight, they're restricted to whatever the DEC's permit allows.
I think if we didn't approve the higher amount and the DEC did, they still couldn't use the DEC's approval, right?
I have my thoughts on it. I don't think it's, I'm not downplaying, I don't still think
I've done
it's
some
relevant.
research on
Yeah, I think that,
Okay.
but
And
it's not,
the way-
that's not on the
the way it will
table,
be,
so.
just to help you out.
So conceivably then, if we are passing this tonight, there's a couple of contingencies, right? We're talking about that the host agreement be signed.
Correct.
With the escalator clause and the DEC permit being.
I don't know that you need, again, I think that's a bit, duplicative. They're already restricted by the DEC permit. So making this contingent on the DEC permit, I guess it's just an added, it's kind of repetitive. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna say no to putting it in there. If you make it a condition, I'll put it in there, but they already are restricted, right? So our permit is sitting there waiting to be authorized by the DEC matching it. So if the DEC says 640, they're capped at 640 even if we've given them 670.
I mean, they're operating without a permit to begin with. There
Well,
is
some
no
of that,
permit.
some of that's, kind of swings both ways, Phil,
I know, they've been
Okay.
operating for years without a permit.
Well,
What are we worried about now?
That's good.
And we haven't done any enforcement.
Well, we should.
Go ahead.
Do we have anything else?
So there's host agreement, and George, if the motion comes up to adopt this resolution and you want do that, I don't have an issue putting it in. I just want to clarify, I don't think it's necessary. But it is what it is. So it's host agreement, potentially the contingency of the DEC permit, the changes that were noted on the record, or at least the spelling issue, and then my confirmation of whether that notification provision is covered by the DEC permits, right? Those are the...
Yes.
Okay. Any other potential contingencies?
I don't have any.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so, Supervisor.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the ADB permit? for-
To adopt the resolution authorizing you to sign the permit with the contingency
I
statement.
thought we were only doing one, I didn't know we were
Sorry,
doing two.
it's just, you'd only have to do one, and then
Oh, so this is the
Can I have a
one, the one that has the heading of solid waste management facility permits. That's the one we're passing?
the resolution is
We're passing the
essentially,
resolution.
the resolution is a,
Very confusing.
right, okay, so you could do a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the ADB permit, okay? But instead, I thought it, because of the complexity of this, the unique nature of it, I drafted a resolution, which is basically a memorialized motion, right? And we use them for only certain things, local laws, more complicated adoption measures. So you're authorizing him to sign the permit as drafted, right? The resolution mirrors the contents of the permit. At the operation stage, the construction stage, the authority, the renewal process, everything that's contained in the resolution is contained there in the permit. So it's a matter of procedurally how I set it up. I thought it was the most protective way to do it was to have it memorialized as opposed to you just saying, can I get a motion to adopt the permit?
So there's two documents that I have in front of me
That's
right
correct.
now.
Yep.
Does each one of them have to be passed?
No, the
No.
resolution authorizes
Which one has to be passed?
the resolution. It's a motion to adopt the resolution,
The resolution, okay.
and the resolution authorizes the supervisor to sign the permit as drafted.
And this one functions for what?
I don't know what that one is.
This says Chapter 80B Solid Waste Management Facility Permits.
It's exactly what it is.
That's what he'll sign after this is passed.
After this is passed.
That's correct, yes, it's just, yep,
I thought we had to pass both, but I understand now.
yeah. Good.
No.
My attempt to make it simple may have made it more complicated, I apologize. It will make a better record, long-term.
Right.
Because you can just refer back to it.
Okay.
Because the last time we did this, 20 years ago, it was, I think, in the minutes, right? It was just a motion, which is probably how we wound up in this situation. Anyway, so, motion to adopt the resolution with the changes noted on, as modified on the record, would be
Would
the
anybody like to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
roll call, or discussion again, or.
Any discussion?
Any further
So much
discussion?
Yeah, so much discussion.
Roll call.
Councilmember Cantorino.
No.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Gallo.
Aye.
Supervisor DeBeski.
Aye.
All right. I'll amend the resolution and forward that over to everybody just to make sure that it's on par with what everybody expected. So you gotta hold off signing that permit until
You adopt the thing and I gotta get it down to
and I gotta do
IWS.
the host community.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is SR 94 LLC Solar Project, request for a 6-month extension of the special use permit. Any questions on that? Do we know
So
why
I'm
they
I'm
need
just gonna
6 months?
I'll address something. We're in a moratorium. The language of the moratorium, it doesn't apply to pending applications. They're proceed at their own risk.
Right, if they have to go, if they're in front of the planning board, they have to get an extension, Sean, correct?
I'm gonna just, let me finish addressing it. I'm saying, yes, they're in play. Imagine there was no moratorium and treat this renewal process as if there was no moratorium. Because it doesn't apply to them. And
because there's a moratorium, they need to continue, if they wanna keep their permit open, they gotta ask for the extension. So I don't,
Do I have a motion
this is
to
in line
approve the
with.
request for a 6-month extension?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Review and approve the road program submitted by Highway Superintendent Broderick Knoll. Broderick, the floor is yours.
Okay, let's start off with the agreement itself. Item number 1, general repairs, the sum of $191,450 may be expended for general repairs upon 77 centerline miles of highways that we have. The problem I have with this year's road program is the state has not passed their budget yet. So we do not know what CHIPS is, we do not know what Pave New York, Extreme Winter Recovery, nor pave our potholes. So I put in there that the 2025 numbers, and I called them expected funds. That is under the part of the improvements. If we go to page 2, the only section that is carved in stone right now is the chip sealing section. And I will say that we did this, that section is for 10 miles of road this year. We did 11.5 miles of road 4 years ago, and it was over $100,000 cheaper. So road work is going through the roof.
Oil.
Everything.
Is it oil?
It is oil.
Yeah.
Petroleum base.
I mean, we do crack sealing. Last year, we spent $23 and change per gallon for the crack seal. This year, it was $32.17. Asphalt, last year on our county bid was $86.25. This year it's $91, but currently there's a $7 escalation, so we're approaching $100. You will see in the revenue balance, there's $277,000 there. That means this, me coming before you is part 1. There will be a part 2. There may be some modifications to the paving. We do have to spend, Jessup Switch Road is about ruined, so we're gonna have to do something there. So we'll see what the jigsaw puzzle. One thing I do wanna say that we are definitely gonna do, last year we bought all the materials, the catch basins, the culvert pipes for Good Time Court, which all of that, it's funny, most of Hamiltonian Park was put in with concrete pipe. The last section was put in with galvanized, all the pipes rotted. So we will soon get that, start working on replacing all that.
Thank you.
And we definitely will pave those. So I will be back in front of you for, revisions.
We're doing that in-house, right? With
Yes.
the drainage?
That'll be the 3rd project we did.
Yeah.
We changed all the catch basins on Brookside, and we did it in Scottsdale Park.
Yeah.
Love it.
So the CHIPS money, expected paid New York, and expected extreme winter comes to about $150,000. So in the worst case scenario, you have $277, $295 left over already. I mean, it's not gonna happen, but let's say the state just washed it out completely and we didn't get a dime. We'd still be whole from what we have here, right?
I don't think CHIPS was even affected in the budget. I think that there were no cuts to it in the state budget for
They're not
CHIPS.
supposed to be projected, but we just need to be careful when
Yeah.
The budget hasn't been passed in Albany.
Yep.
All right, any questions for Brad?
Nope.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Oh, no road looks good, no road, and then you did up by the,
Well, I think you would take care of that corridor.
It did come out nice though, you had to pave first, you did some paving first?
No, we crack sealed first.
Okay.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah, it came out nice.
Hey, Brad, are you doing the driveways on Knoll Road too?
Good job, Broderick. Our
Yeah,
roads are
thank you.
absolutely
You're doing
beautiful.
always a great job.
They're the best roads in Orange County.
Yeah.
Question,
Are we
we have to
approving
approve this,
Okay.
right?
Then it's gotta be.
Yes.
Motion.
Are you coming back with it when you have the real numbers, or you want this approved tonight?
Now, we need to approve it. This needs to be in place for, it's against the law for me to do work, and it's against the law for you to sign vouchers.
So we can always amend it when you get the additional numbers.
It's revised.
Yeah,
It'll
okay.
be revised.
So I need a motion to approve the road program submitted by Highway Superintendent Knoll as amended?
I don't think it was.
No.
No.
Just the one you
It's gonna
approved.
come back for revisions
Yeah,
when the
come back
budget,
for
the state budget comes out.
Just
So
the-
you're adopting it as is right now,
Yeah,
subject to revision.
stop right there.
Confused.
Yeah, you're
You're
okay.
good.
Roll call.
Yes. Councilmember Gallo.
Aye.
Councilmember
Roderick?
Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino.
Aye.
Monday.
Supervisor Ventro.
Aye.
Sweet. No.
Okay, next item on the agenda is discuss the Millennium Renewal Proposal.
That's information future.
Kat, I don't have it with us, but I don't believe it's gone up, correct? The same price?
No,
I
it's the
think
same.
it's the same.
You have it?
Yeah, it's the same.
I didn't
Same
get
price.
mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
3,500 on the wall.
Yep.
And so I
Do you want my copy?
No, I'm good. I've read it, but I just didn't have my copy of it.
Tomorrow I have to do an echo. Good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Do we have any questions on the Millennium Renewal? I mean, they've done, in my opinion, a fantastic job. They've done quite a bit of money, and we have over 2 million right now in play from grants that they're working on. And they're instrumental in the grant with Senator Gildebrands for 7PM. Any questions? Can I get a motion to approve, or do we just need to discuss? Can I get a motion?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Greenwells Venture, AKA Casa Verde, withdrawal of the application and issue return of the bond paid to the town in the amount of $65,544.25. Any questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve the town board minutes, April 23rd, 2026. Any questions on them?
I had one change. I
Wait a minute.
already gave it to,
Yes.
All right, so can I have a motion to approve?
so moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're gonna take a look at privilege of the floor and how we operate, and then George wants to lend an opinion on some things he'd like to see, which I agree to, or agree with, I didn't say agree. I have it somewhere.
Just gave
Yeah. All right, so what we're gonna look to do on privilege of the floor, it's gonna pretty much stay the same, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a sign-up sheet up at the front of the table here. We're gonna ask you to sign when you get to the meeting, if you want to speak at privilege of the floor. And then we're gonna hold it limited 3 minutes unless extended by the town board. Those are the only changes that we have. Other than that, the town is keeping everything else in place.
Good.
Have any questions for anybody?
Well, I had
I know George wanted to make.
one comment that
Yep.
is aligned with this. We've been talking about this for a long time, and as a matter of fact, there was a time when we actually did it. So what I'd like to see is on agenda items that the people can speak before we act. Because I've heard a number of different times that I couldn't say anything, and I wanted to speak to that particular issue. So what I'd like to see the board accept is on agenda items, that's the way we start our meeting. If you want to speak to any of the items on the agenda, speak before we act.
We used to do that.
Yep.
One time, yeah, we did do
I think it's a great
that.
idea. I mean,
Yeah,
when we
did
talked
that
about it,
all
I
the
thought it was a
time.
great idea.
And
And it doesn't tell you at the end of the meeting, you'll still
No.
have your privilege of the floor.
No, that,
But we
that's
want to
what
hear
used
from the public on general items that we're going to be voting on, especially, and I think it's only fair that you can voice your opinion on it.
Yep.
Rick, anything?
No, I'm good.
Melissa?
All good.
All right, so I'm going to add that to it. I'm going to ask us to approve this tonight with that amendment to it.
Okay.
So ask for a motion to approve the resolution establishing privilege of the floor policy.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Need a roll call for that? Okay, sorry.
Councilmember Cantorino.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember Flory.
Aye.
Councilmember Aye. Supervisor Betcha.
You got one?
Did they give us?
I don't
No,
know.
because
Mary probably
you
had
wanted
one.
to, you gotta approve it
Approve
first
it.
before you,
Supervisor Betcha.
Aye.
I mean, it might have been in the,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
online.
Yeah, it was online.
Next item on the agenda is the acceptance of the resignation of a letter of resignation from Ashley Salty. The effective date on that letter of resignation is June 1st.
That's correct.
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Make a
Make a motion to accept the resignation letter?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sad to see you go.
With a
Yeah,
letter of
very sad to see her
appreciation.
go.
Excuse me?
Sad to see her
I
go.
think
Yeah.
Yes.
And and with a letter of appreciation for her time served.
Yes, sir.
And I see in the back of the room, there might be a replacement.
Yes. It's not on here, but it's supposed to be, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was. I didn't
I'll
see
add it to it. No big deal.
I just missed it.
Next item on the agenda is accept the resignation letter of Karina Wigger, clerk to the supervisor.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same letter.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is approve the appointment of Lisa Cassiano to be the clerk to the supervisor.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Italians are taking over.
That's it.
Hey, hold on, we got one coming here. We got
Italian and Irish.
Yeah.
I need the correct verbiage of that on what you wanted to say, just for the record, just,
It would be a motion to, appoint,
point, okay. So a
uh,
motion to appoint Seamus Weir to the position of judge, town judge, replacing Ashley Salty.
As of June
As of
1st.
June 1st.
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
That's good, Seamus? That's good for you?
It is, thank you. So we got to change your last name, put a vowel at the end of it.
Second.
Weary.
You need all the help I can get on this.
Do we need a roll call for that?
I would do a roll call. It's a appointment to an
Sure. Councilmember Gallo.
Aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino.
Aye.
Supervisor Betcha.
Aye. Congratulations, Seamus.
Yep.
Yes,
Look
congratulations.
forward to coming to June 1st to see you.
Good luck.
Next item on the agenda is discuss and approve the motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check run May 14th in $187,678.47.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Review and approve the motion to authorize the supervisor to pay a manual AP run as of 4/30/2026, but I don't have a dollar amount.
Sorry.
4.
$1,625,628.
Have that motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And attached is the budget review from our budget officer. Okay.
Good.
Privilege of the floor.
Subject to new regulations.
Does anybody want to speak? Priscilla, get up first.
Yeah.
Priscilla, you want to please go to the mic so the people on video can hear you?
Priscilla Gerska, County Goshen. 2 questions on privilege of the floor.
Yes.
I understand that you want people to sign in, maybe to address a specific agenda item. What if you just want to sign in and not have to talk about an agenda item? You want to bring up something new, just put no topic or no agenda?
The signing in on is for the privilege of the floor at the end of the meeting. In the beginning, we're gonna ask if anybody would like to speak on any of the agenda items.
Okay.
So the signing in is at the end of the night. You don't have to say what you want to talk about. You can talk about whatever you want.
All right, the other question is, if it's 3-minute rule, say I sign in, can I give my 3 minutes to somebody else?
No.
And
I'm already anticipated that.
You remember the Legoland days?
I don't see us strictly enforcing that. I didn't say that, Rory, but I don't see us strictly enforcing that. I mean, we give everybody the opportunity to speak, but, you know, a 20-minute filibuster is not gonna happen.
And I think it's just to cut down on redundancy, I think, probably.
Just wondering.
All right.
Thank you.
Neil, go ahead.
I think,
I just
I
wanna
think,
thank you
I think
for-
someone else is
Hold
coming
on.
up, but you
Yeah,
can't see
someone-
that?
No.
Oh,
Neil was next.
okay.
Oh,
She's just positioning herself to be that.
okay. All I just want to say is thank you for having the ability to speak at the beginning of the meeting.
All right, very good. Anna?
Just one question on the privilege of the floor. If
Happy
we're gonna be
birthday.
limited to 3
Happy birthday.
minutes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
If we're gonna be limited to 3 minutes, it should be uninterrupted by anybody on the board until we're done speaking.
Absolutely.
Unless it falls into one of the other categories of privilege for a personal attack or something not germane to town business.
I'm interrupted every single time I try to say something. And if I'm limited to 3 minutes,
Oh,
It should be
I was
uninterrupted.
I was talking about if you went outside of something that's also prohibited in there, like.
no.
So
That's all.
so your
I'm not-
question is you don't want to be interrupted. You'd like to speak for your
I think
time.
the 3 minutes,
Correct.
3 minutes gets told if someone hops in. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of.
And I think by the time you get started, half your time is gone already. I think it should be a little bit more than 3 minutes. I understand that sometimes there's a
How about
lot
5
of
minutes?
people.
How about 5 minutes? Is that
5
helpful?
minutes is
There you
better.
go, you got 5 minutes.
All right, now you gotta go change your privilege. You gotta go back.
Wrong,
That's it. Thank you for your time and thank you for the birthday wishes.
Just give her 5.
Just be slow on the trigger.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'm thinking.
Just trying to figure out what she's gonna say.
All right. Brian Mitchell, I'm here looking for approval of 672, oh no, I'm sorry. And I picked the wrong night to come in.
Oh, my God.
That's not even funny.
The short answer is no.
I lost 3 votes already.
Yeah. Any town attorney.
I'm trying to follow the lead of the town here, so I don't even know if I'm supposed to be standing here or not, because I sent a letter to Mary, who sent it to the board. I see I'm not on the agenda,
Yeah.
but I didn't want anyone thinking I was ignoring, because I'm trying to follow the lead of the building inspector.
I think, I understood it that it was still being kicked around. I don't think it was I mean, you can speak.
I was here.
would
Yeah, let's
think-
see what you got.
So what I said, we all have the letter, Brian. What I said was, is when you send the letter the day of the meeting, it's hard for everybody to absorb it, to actually talk about it. But I mean, I've read through it already. You know, I've been part and parcel to this whole thing. I think you got 2 options on what you need to look at. I don't want to stop you from speaking, so if you want to go ahead.
No, again, I'm looking, so, I mean, we're out there 20 years now, and we're operating the way we've always operated. So 2 years ago, I guess we're trying to cross all the Ts, dot all the Is. So we are in a bit of a gray area, but the town's always been, you know, it's always been this pretty good working relationship. So again, I'm just trying to follow the lead. So I went to the planning board last week as per the request of the building inspector. And I don't know, they after that meeting, we had a private meeting with the building inspector, and he suggested I come here because it was perfect timing with the new comprehensive plan of the town. And what we've been doing out there, I mean, if you look at the comprehensive plan, again, I'm not involved all that much there. I mean, we check every box, except for the boxes I don't think most people, residents of Goshen, want us to check, like, you know.
Recyclables?
Yeah. I'm going back there.
D&D?
Exactly.
Chewing
So-
up his 5 minutes, Joe. Let the guy talk.
You said we weren't gonna
You just said you weren't
interrupt
gonna interrupt, and now we're.
I gave you 5 minutes.
minutes.
So, yeah, so I need the guidance of what to do. Again,
I'll give you the guidance. It's two simple, easy things you have to. You realize that what you're doing out there is not permitted in the use. You get an ag use, you're looking for recreational in that ag use. Not saying no to it. So your choices are, you can ask for a use variance at the SBA, or you can come back and make an application to the town board to add recreation into ag. Those are your two things. Those are the two options you have. I would suggest you reach out to your engineer who's ever doing the work and find out what's the easiest option for him based on what he thinks.
The only thing is that when you make an application to add recreation to ag, that's town-wide. That's not only for his
Correct.
property.
Correct.
So what you would be doing is trying to change the zoning for the whole town.
Unless,
Just so you know.
unless what we can do, Frank said, we can
Overlay.
create an overlay district in a certain area based on certain criteria.
Overlay, there you go.
yeah, because when we first moved into the area, I mean, that was 2006, about 2010, we were told, and again guided, that there was gonna be, the town had every plan of doing an overlay out there where we are.
I'm not sure who told you that, but.
Well, unfortunately, with Legoland, Amy's Kitchen, and all this, everything else that inundated the,
You got lost.
it kind of got, yeah. So, again, we've been out there 20 years operating the way we have, so,
Illegally.
no,
Because I was here when you came.
yeah, no, it's,
You weren't allowed to do it, but you did it.
Right.
Which is, nobody,
So
we understood it was
actually-
recreation. so
right,
go ahead.
actually though,
Yeah.
again, it's based on friends and family.
Yes,
Right, and
exactly.
donation-based only.
No one ever said anything.
Well, donation-based only, again, on our property, from what I'm understanding,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not illegal. And years ago, when I came before the board, I referenced Watts Wonderland. Watts Wonderland is donation-based only, right? They're in a residential district, all right, and they operate, cars drive through their home. They drive through the garage, they do all that stuff, but it's donation-based only, so,
I don't know.
yeah, well, it is, so, and they're in residential. I'm in ag industrial.
Yes.
All right, So I'm not illegal.
I don't want to comment on Watts Park because I don't have all the information,
Yeah.
but I believe they've come before us, and Frank's been out there, and they've been fixing things that he's asked them to fix.
Right.
So,
So again, donation based, it's not illegal. I just wanted to correct.
if
Councilman.
you're asking us if we would consider allowing you to continue to work because you are donation based only, it doesn't apply. You're in the ag zone, the overlay district either has to be created or a zoning variance has to go into place, one or the other. And we're not denying it. I don't think you're gonna get denied. I mean, I've been out there. It's a great cause. Kids are running around, keeping them off the streets, keeping them off PS5, absolutely. But we can't just let everybody do what they wanna do because it's community-based and no cost.
Right,
So
so-
we're here to help you. We're here to assist you.
I appreciate that. So, and the outpour from the community is tremendous because in this last week, since the negative news at the planning board, was somewhat negative, and because of, for the first time in 20 years, the last 8 months, we've had to say no to a lot of good causes, and they're starting to ask, what's going on? And it's because of, and we're at about $56,000 worth of engineers' costs. We went through the zoning board already of appeals for the 288 variance. We've done all this stuff to try to please the town, and at the end of the day, it's just taken away from our
I don't think you're trying to please us. I think you're trying to adhere to the code.
Right, yeah.
Again, after 18 years, for whatever reason, and maybe someone here can tell me why after 18 years, the town decided, you know what, we gotta go.
I can't
No
tell
one
you
can.
why.
No one can
I
give us
can't
an
tell
answer.
you why.
It just happened. So I'm here to just figure it out, make everybody happy.
You go back to your engineer, ask him about those two things I just gave you. The use variance at the ZBA or a overlay district.
But see, that's the thing, is everybody, I went as far as I could with the engineer. I sat down with a private meeting with the building inspector. He suggested that I come here tonight. He suggested the zoning amendment of 97-79. Again, I'm just going off of, because I don't know, so I'm just going off of what I'm being told to do.
There's a reason he's not on the agenda, and so we wouldn't do this.
Right.
Literally.
What's that?
The reason he's not on the agenda, so we would avoid what's going on right now.
Right, so,
Yeah, so I don't, you guys.
It's not, I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude to you. You should just table it. He was guided to potentially have the town change part of the code or an overlay Or
I don't know if he was got it,
Okay.
that's what I just told him.
Right, but that's why, just table it, please.
I just had a quick question. Is any of this addressed in the comprehensive plan? Were any thoughts of this, like, well, to change the code to allow for certain
No,
projects?
no, it never came up. That we-
Okay, no, I
not
just
to
didn't know if
change
that was
the
ever
code.
anything that,
No, that's something that's
okay,
not in the purview of the.
okay, I was just curious.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Just
not at all.
to be proactive with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just for my own information, what do you have out there now?
Let's take
And
this
what do you prepare, what do you propose to do?
So we don't propose to do anything different than we've done for the last 20 years. It's just, again, it's to the, I don't know, again, the new,
Recreation facility.
yeah, it's an outreach for the, it's friends and family based, donation based, people that need a place that, it's really just all the people of our community, that have supported, people that, like I said, I've got a dozen letters here that can explain it further, of people that have come out, that we've helped.
When you get all the ducks in the row, come on back. Let's listen to our attorney, thank you. Just move her on to the next agenda.
I mean, I just,
Thank you.
I just don't,
Yeah.
I would like to be able to give guidance to the board.
Yeah.
And I would like to talk to your engineer. All right, because this did just come across, like, 2 days ago, across my table.
Right.
So, the discourse is nice, but it's just spinning wheels right now, and it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
So, that's my advice.
All right, so
Good
we'll take it
advice.
back and see what
I'll
we
wait
can
for you
do.
guys.
Thank
I'll talk to
you.
Jason. All right, Pittengerro's is your engineer, right? Jason?
It was, so Lincoln Tully, but I think we had an issue with.
Yeah, there's a
Next
conflict.
on the
It's a
agenda.
conflict, so
Yeah.
it's Jason Pittengerro.
And I said, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I have the letter, so I'll reach out to Jason, and then we'll get going. All right? All right, thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you, Brian.
anybody else?
I'm exercising my right to remain silent, Mr. Supervisor.
I love you, Chris.
Thank you.
I've run out of candy, so I don't know.
Or you got nothing to say?
No, I
You
ran
can't
out.
even say, thank you, Mr. Supervisor, I asked you something and said it to me before I even got home.
I just noticed that and I answered you back. Thank you very much.
Do I have a motion to close the town board meeting?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye, thank you, everybody.
Yes,
Thank you.
Wrong. Oh, I had no dinner.